Miracle of Sound is just a very underrated comedian.
I just heard you say that.
Yes, but they needed to hear me say that. They needed to hear that amazing observation that Miracle of Sound is a very underrated comedian.
Okay.
Jolene, to answer your question, the first song was Welcome to My Parents' House by Ninja Sex Party. The second song was Trip to Vegas by Miracle of Sound. Both groups have very, very kindly allowed streamers to use their music as pre-stream music or during their streams, as long as they are properly credited. So, thank you to the both of them.
And we got the tweets to prove it.
Yes, we do have the tweets to prove it because they're both very, very awesome. And we appreciate that. And to be honest, it's kind of only really something that you can do if you're an independent creator, you know?
Yeah.
Which, you know, fucking, what's it called? Fucking record companies, I'm telling you. We hate the record companies.
Down with the industry.
Cease the means of production, comrades. Hey everybody. By the way, please peep our new poster for DisasterCast, redesigned by the great Izzy Van Dizzy, to include What the Fuck Sundays plus DisasterCast.
Izzy.
Yeah. I quite like it. I like the hanging. My favorite part is the
yes.
R about to fall off. That's like my favorite part.
That is.
I like that a lot. Very nice. Very artistic. I enjoy it. All right. So,
Izzy.
Before we go any further, though, I misspoke to all of you yesterday. I said that tomorrow's stream of, tomorrow's stream of Beyond Good and Evil was going to be at the same regular time of, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is not going to be the case, because I forgot I have a doctor's appointment. I have, 2 doctor's appointments tomorrow.
The joy of having a big boy job.
Yeah, basically you gotta, set all of your appointments for one day, and sometimes they coincide. It's nothing bad, by the way. Let me make that clear. It's nothing bad. I'm just going to the dermatologist and to my regular doctor for a checkup. So it's just, I'm just, being healthy. So nothing's wrong, but it is something that I do got to get taken care of. So tomorrow's Beyond Good and Evil is actually going to start at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, as opposed to the usual 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to give me time to get to the doctors afterwards. So there you go.
Izzy, isn't it clear we want to fuck you?
Being healthy in this economy.
Seriously!
It's less likely than you think. But somehow I'm managing.
It's because you got a corporate job now.
Honestly, yeah, it kind of is. It's because I've cucked my... Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to say that word. It's because I have given in to the corporate daddy. I'm not allowed to say the C word on stream as an insult, I forgot. Someone can jump in. Someone can jump in my chat and yell transphobic shit at me all day long. I mean, I can ban them, but or someone can get on their own stream and yell transphobic shit about me all day long. That's fine, but God forbid that I call someone the C word.
And that's the one C word banned, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they can get on their stream and call me the other C word as much as
they can call you a cunt all they want.
Yeah, I can call them a cunt all I want to, but God forbid, which I can't help it as... Sorry, I'm going to jump on my soapbox for a quick second, because this is what really bothered me about that. So, I cannot help but notice that the main things that got banned were, I am not using these in an insulting manner, Twitch. I am using these to educate everyone as to what words have been banned so that they understand. You cannot, in an insulting way, you cannot call someone a virgin. You cannot call someone an incel. You cannot call someone a cuck.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot call someone a simp. So, those, you cannot use those in insulting ways, which I did not, Twitch. I was just saying what the words are so that everybody knows what the bad words are. Which I cannot help but notice are all words that are typically only used as insults against straight white men.
Yep.
Twitch creators have been screaming as loud as they possibly can about rampant transphobia in other streamers' chats and, homophobia and racism and all that shit. People encouraging their viewers to go jump into a black person's chat and yell the N-word at them. And all of that is fine. All of that is perfectly fine. But God forbid I insult somebody by calling them a virgin. That's gonna get me banned.
I mean,
I can toss a fucking cat over my head and that'll be fine, but God forbid I call someone a virgin.
It amazes me that the ones who scream about people being snowflakes are they themselves the ones.
Yeah, I know. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Like, I am a snowflake. I'll straight up admit it, but that's the thing. I'll admit it. I'm a fucking sensitive little bitch. I am. I'm proud of it. I'm open about the fact that I'm a sensitive little bitch. But here's the thing. I admit it. I'm not gonna pretend like, oh, everybody's gotta toughen up. I don't do that shit, because it's like, no, people got shit that bothers them, and that's okay.
I've been told that before on the phone at work.
What, that everybody's a snowflake, or?
That, I was acting like a snowflake because I asked a man to stop cursing on our phone call, and he said...
Did you say, no, sir, I'm acting like a professional, and I suggest that you do the same?
I did say something like that. He's
nice!
He's like, listen, Snowflake, you better toughen up if you want to work around in this world. And I said, sir, I'm just trying to keep a professional manner in this call, and I suggest you do the same.
Did he start crying? Did he start screaming? Did he demand to see your manager?
Yep.
Yes! Nice! I love getting one of those people who's like, because I've had that time where people be like, I'm not gonna deal with any crap, stuff, and I'll go, sorry, I am gonna ask you to maintain a professional tone of voice and to remain respectful of me, and I will remain respectful of you. I want to speak to your manager! And I was like, and I like, at one point I said, well, sir, I'm afraid that you're being a little bit sensitive right now. I actually did say that to a customer one time, because I was just at the end, I was just so done. I was just so done with his bullshit. I had been helping him for nearly an hour now. My handle time was insane, and they get onto us about the fucking handle times all the goddamn time.
They always get about things you can't control.
Yeah, it's always the fucking handle times, and I was so fucking done. I was so fucking done. Like, no more. We're done.
I mean, luckily I didn't have to get him to a manager because he kept cursing at me, and I said, sir, if you do not...
He's cursing, I am going to hang up this phone. I'm going to disconnect the call if you cannot...
If you cannot control yourself, I am going to disconnect the call. He kept cursing at me, and I said, okay, sir, please call us back whenever you've
calmed the hell down.
Yeah, basically, whenever you have calmed down and regained control of your temper, thank you for calling Lowe's. Click.
That is something that I don't think people realize, like, more and more, because I've started to notice this in other call centers as well, more and more call center employees are being empowered to disconnect the call if the customer is being rude.
Yeah.
It's not every one of them, but it is happening more and more, so I'm just saying, those of you out there who, like, get your rocks off by abusing call center employees, you might not be getting to do that for much longer.
Yeah, Dad.
Alright, so before we get into We Love Katamari, which we're going to start that today, Kayla, would you like to let everyone know what we're going to be talking about today?
Okay, so I will admit I kind of wanted the big story today to be a true crime thing. Cause fuck you.
Kayla, we finally get around to getting a poster for the DisasterCast, and then Kayla's like, yeah, but I think I want to branch out into true crime now, too.
Okay, to be fair, I have been into true crime a lot longer.
Dude, I have the best idea. Side note, we need to occasionally, like every now and again, like maybe one Sunday a month, instead of DisasterCast, do a true crime podcast, but it'll be with Kayla and Bramble Pippington, who shall inform everyone how they could have successfully solved this mystery. God. I think that would be really fun.
Am I gonna get some Bramble Pippington today when I talk about my case?
It's very, very... I make no promises that will not happen. I still need to commission someone to draw Bramble Pippington, but I've got to figure out what he looks like. I kind of imagine this very, like, dandy-looking guy,
I imagine a handlebar mustache that has been thoroughly greased to Jesus.
I kind of always picture him as having mutton chops.
He could have both.
He could have both. I think he could have both. Bramble Pippington could rock both. Definitely a monocle. He has got a monocle.
Oh, God, yes, got it.
Above all else, he's got a fucking monocle.
Bowler hat.
You think bowler hat?
I think a bowler hat on a bald head. The only hair he has is the mutton chops and the mustache.
Ooh, yeah. I'm digging that. It's raining outside.
The mutton chops are attached to nothing.
It's raining outside and that makes me happy. I like it when it rains outside.
Yep.
I know whenever it's raining. My ears are like specially tuned for
Well,
the
I
rain.
have a hard time telling the difference between when the air conditioning's on and when it's raining outside. I only know the difference whenever I can feel the thunder.
When I was little, the rain was sometimes the only way that I could sleep, so I've gotten to where my ears are just tuned to know whenever it's raining outside.
Fair enough.
All right, so what are we gonna? So we do have a true crime thing today, and we have 2 more disasters. So
Yeah, I'm kind of running low on my disasters, admittedly. So, the small story I have is the Surfside condominium collapse that happened, like...
This is the one that you guys have been asking us to cover for a while.
I don't have all the information on it. A lot of the story is going to be about recovery, because that's the most information that we have. The other one is the Johnstown Flood that happened in 1889. It was bad.
That's Johnstown, not Jonestown. That is a very different disaster, which we may cover some.
Jonestown episode!
I should do a disaster cast with a Jonestown episode because you know
Yes.
how obsessed I am with Jonestown.
I'm obsessed with it. What the- you
Oh
don't-
my god, it'd be both of us.
I need to give you my Spotify login specifically so you can hear last podcast on the left. They did a 5-part episode series on Jim Jones and the Jonestown epidemic.
I think Jim Jones would count as a disaster cast episode simply because he really just was a fucking disaster.
Yeah, and they go into it. Okay, little fun fact about Jim Jones. He used to sell spider monkeys door to door. And one woman who he got to come to his church and be a devout follower, he met her because her daughter introduced them because her mother's monkey had hung itself.
I remember
So
hearing about that.
so she wanted to buy a new one, and Jim Jones was the only one selling them. And all I could think to myself is, how depressed was your monkey that it began to understand the concept of despair and hung itself?
Yeah,
Was it an accident or
like,
did it
Jesus
intentionally
Christ.
do it?
Yeah, I know, like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's the big question for me, is just like, was that an accident, or...
It's Johnstown, Pennsylvania, the flood that happened in 1889.
We were sidetracking Caroline to say we might do a Jonestown episode.
Sorry. We get super into it.
Yeah, okay, so, alright, so we've got the, Surfside condo collapse, the Johnstown flood, I'm gonna say Jonestown the whole time, the Johnstown flood, and then what is our third story for today?
Our third story, our true crime story, is one of the stories that I know better than anything.
Probably
I
a
know it
little
more
too
than
well.
some of my own history.
Probably a little too well.
The trial of Casey Anthony.
So, is the disaster in this story Casey Anthony herself, or is it the prosecution's case?
Yes.
Fair enough. So, as you can see, we're gearing up for a fun day today.
I'll be honest, the only reason I know so much about the Casey Anthony thing is because I remember very clearly I have fresh memories whenever I was a child walking into that carport where Grandma was watching fucking...
She was glued to that
She
shit.
was glued to that case. She was watching Nancy
Grace.
Nancy Grace, what's her bitch? Talk about it all scream about Tot Mom. Tot Mom. I remember that so clearly.
I remember the Nancy Grace stuff too.
Cause Grandma...
I remember whenever Nancy Grace like yelled at one of her producers because like they were talking about the Paris Hilton thing, and one of the producers was playing a film of a role, like, you know, because they like show the people that they're talking about, especially when they're celebrities, and they were showing Paris Hilton's commercial that she did for Hardee's where she was like washing. It looks really sexualized and stuff, you know, that kind of thing that she did. And Nancy Grace like was like, you shouldn't play that kind of stuff because that's the point that we're trying to make, is that she has sold her body. And, you know, honestly, like, I get what she was trying to say. She was trying to be like, oh, celebrities have a tier to two-tiered justice system. I guess she was kind of trying, but it was really kind of going into a little bit of slut shaming, not gonna lie. Like, she sold her body and therefore she is lesser than the rest of us. And so her producer, like, took it off of the screen and then started playing videos of dogs humping each other. Hey there, Definition, how you doing? I promise we're gonna get into the game soon, I promise y'all.
We have so much fun just talking shit. It is a podcast every Sunday, okay?
Yeah, that was like the best. I think she was a producer or she was an editor. She was one of the tech. She was one of the tech folks. I know that she was one of the higher. I know she was higher up on the food chain if she felt comfortable doing that.
Either that or it was her last fucking day and she did not care.
Oh god, the last fucking day of work is always the best day. Just finished shampooing the carpets and waiting to play some Grounded. Oh, you have fun with that. I tried to get into Grounded and I don't know what it was about it. I just couldn't get into it.
I don't have a strong enough computer to play that.
Yeah. Maybe I need to play it with other people. Maybe then it'll open up to me, but it just didn't open up to me when I tried to play it.
Let's say, play it with like, who's that British bitch you always talk to?
I don't fucking know. Some cunt that messages me every now and again.
Yeah. Okay. Surfside Condominium collapse, just because that's the shortest.
Wait, before we go any further, we should probably wait and see how the volume levels are.
Yeah, let us know how the volume level is.
And also, just because this intro is fucking great.
This is so Japanese.
I know, and it's great. I love it.
I thought I was the weeb.
My last day of work at one of the factories I worked at, I parked the forklift against the office door so the embers couldn't get on it.
Oh, definition. Oh my god.
That's excellent. Oh, Grounded is free this weekend? Well, folks, if y'all wanted to try Grounded and not really lose anything from it, then this is a good time to give it a shot.
Maybe you could play with Bird.
You cannot. Bird will not be playing because Bird is working on resumes and adult stuff this weekend.
I will fix your resume.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm gonna work on making up another cover letter for like other possible positions and also checking to see what positions are available.
Okay.
No. Game is a little bit loud. Okay, we can fix that. We can fix that, no problem. The game is kind of in DisasterCast. We do try to keep the game a little bit quieter anyway, so that Kayla can talk
the game
without
is
having
secondary.
to scream. Yeah, so that Kayla can talk without having to scream.
Kayla, don't scream. Kayla, we were discussing this right before the stream. Kayla's the only one with the concept of an inside voice.
Yeah.
The great cosmos. A world of mystery both tantalizing and terrifying. Not a
Really
very
digging this
well-publicized
voiceover.
world to understand,
Because you
but a
don't have to
glamorous
do
and
the
influential
chilled
world
voice.
Yes.
Rikudo, we have the Surfside Condominium collapse. Very little information on that. The Johnstown, Pennsylvania
Yet
flood.
sensitive
And
rugged to boot.
the death of Kaylee
Tolerant and
Anthony.
compassionate with a heart deeper than the oceans. Such is the great cosmos, and the king that rules over it is marvelous to behold.
Oh, you can tell who wrote
Except
this
for
part.
the one time that he destroyed all the stars in the universe.
No big deal.
No big deal, really.
That's you writing your own
Having
forward.
come to
God, yes, it really is.
realize
This is my
the
cover
ways,
letter.
The wisest of kings
I'm not
said to
editing your
divided
cover
earth
letter
his
to sound
beloved
like
son,
this.
the prince,
I'm
and
drawing that
commanded
line
him to
right
make
now.
a Katamari of ample proportions. Tossed unceremoniously to earth, the valiant prince rolled the Katamari entrusted to him by the king, rolling up more things than you can count. Vaulting boxes, pencils, erasers,
Postcards, ramen, robots, cows, sheep, this girl, that boy, moms and dads.
I love this. This is fantastic. Hopes and dreams.
The prince rolled them all up. Rolled and
Spider-Man
rolled
boy?
until the Katamari was big enough to be lifted up
Yeah,
to
today,
space to replace the shiny stars that
today's
were
the day
so
Peter Parker becomes
grievously
Spider-Man, I think.
lost. And that, dear friends, was the plot and purpose of the fabulous game called
Katamari Damacy!
Wow, we're getting fucking meta in here.
Its popularity recognized no boundaries or borders, and it rolled right out of the game to bundle away the many and sundry ills that blight the modern world. Overnight, the king found himself a superstar. The adulation of the crowd knew no limits.
Oh my god, the Katamari when it rolled by, it picked up the last paragraph.
Should be bigger. It's so cool.
I want to roll up more stuff. Oh dear, such a chorus. Fans crying out from all over the world for the magnificent king. to do his thing.
So we're getting into some meta shit.
Okay.
I dig it. I really dig it.
This looks like something I would see at a planetarium after taking some edibles.
Still not enough stars here. What the fuck?
I stand by my statement.
Are you gonna play Psychonauts 2? Yes! Yes, I am. Ah, sweet
There it
memories!
is.
Yes, there was that time! That time we smashed all the stars in the sky! It's like something out of a dream! We so totally forgot! What made us remember? Looky! The one place with stars is around Earth! Looks like Katamari Damacy was being lazy!
Okay, what?
Looks like Katamari Damacy had everyone fooled!
What are these words you're saying?
What impresses us all over is the scale of destruction we wrought! It's got an anklet and I like that. We were on a roll, yes we were!
Puns.
Fierce and fabulous, we certainly were!
Jokes.
We were really something, yes, yes!
Quips.
Oh, speaking of something, here is a tidbit!
Information.
Not that we get it, but it seems that we're quite a hit!
Marketing.
A big hit with Earth! The star so full of stuff!
Hoarding.
A star now apparently full of our fans!
Stalkers.
Prince! Prince!
You there.
What do you think they love about us?
The anklet.
Yes, it's the anklet. Our looks, our tights, our mustache.
Whatever you're wearing on your head.
Oh, Eureka! We've got it!
I doubt it.
It's our chin! Yes, that must be! Yes, must be!
Looks like my foot will fit comfortably there.
Our chin is so magnificent!
Quite the boot print I see in your future.
Earth is full of dedicated followers of our chin!
Euphemisms.
I want to hold your chin! Let me feel your goatee!
The new Taylor Swift album.
That would fucking slap. They ask so nicely, so passionately, how can we say no?
You just said it.
So now, our prince!
Oh god.
You must go to Earth and grant our fans their wishes!
I am not pulling a Selena here.
Their wishes are our chin's commands!
I highly doubt that.
Our chin's commands are our wishes!
How high are you?
Very! And so on. It's why I'm called Chilled!
I want to go home.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought I saw his hip thrusting and I was like, oh, wow, okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Nice to meet you, Your Highness. Katamari Damacy is fun.
Debatable.
Or, it was fun. I think it must have been fun.
Nostalgia goggles.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten.
Don't worry about it.
I've completely forgotten how to roll the Katamari. I know I'm a goof, but I love Katamari Damacy. Help me remember, please.
No.
Oh, it's the tutorial.
No.
Yeah, nope. Fucking learn. Learn, bitch. Learn.
Learn on your own, goddammit.
Who is this man? That's the tutorial level.
His name is Toot Oreo level.
Ugh.
Oh, come on, you get to make all the stupid ass puns.
That was pretty good, not gonna lie.
I I know it is. Surfside condominium collapse.
Fair warning, the information on this is not entirely...
I do not have a lot of information
Yeah,
on this.
it's not complete information, but we're gonna do the best that we can. Well, Kayla's gonna do the best that she can.
I was about to say, where's this bullshit?
You out there?
No.
Okay.
So, on Thursday, June 24th, 2021, at approximately 1:25 a.m., Chaplin Towers South, a 12-story beachfront condominium in Miami, partially collapsed. That's the story, folks!
Well,
I'm kidding.
well, thank you all for coming to today's episode of DisasterCast.
Your wife is doing okay-ish. Bird, how are you?
I'm doing well.
One of us needs to be.
I guess I have to do the stupid thing.
That's some bullshit.
Oh well. Alright.
Oh god.
Alrighty, let's leave our fans on Earth to Prince. Now, where shall we go and play?
I need an adult.
Oh, it's Prince. What do you want with us?
Nothing really.
What? Oh, you forgot? Forgot how to roll the Katamari? How to enjoy the Katamari?
No, I didn't.
How to fuck the Katamari?
I certainly have not
The
forgotten
meaning of life. Of course you forgot.
that. No, I didn't.
It's the things you can't forget that make you hurt.
Why are we getting philosophical?
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, that's awfully philosophical. I think it may be better not to dredge things up. Okay. Now it's important to remember. No, it's crucial to remember, yes? We'll just try and think back. Yeah. Oh god, his eyes are open.
One of us will do the thinking.
His eyes are open. That scared me. Friends that forgot all about Katamari Damacy, or friends playing their very first game of Katamari Damacy.
Did you? How many edibles did you have?
A lot of them!
Where did you get them from?
I got them from your mother!
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mom was never good about cleanliness in the house.
What could a Katamari be? What does it taste like? Oh god, he really is high. Does it have a point? No, because it's round. Why roll? Why make it bigger? So many options in schools of thought, but let's just try it first, yes? Hear ye, we present to all and sundry the Katamari!
I am the only one here.
Yeah, but like, you got enough personality for plenty of people. Here it is!
How's that masculinity going for you, Bird?
Not so well, not so well. I'm secure, though. I'm perfectly secure. This is an average Katamari, so utterly devoid of any new and improvedness. Take this standard Katamari and roll it firmly with both hands. That's why you use both of the analog sticks.
God.
Use your right and left hands to roll. Get it?
No.
You get it?
No, I don't.
That's enough, yes? We did good, yes? So just roll your way around until you've mastered Katamari. Damashi on your own.
Ow.
Alrighty. See the other platform ahead? Well, now let's head on over there.
Firmly grasp it.
Firmly grasp it in your hand. Oh, yes! You got up there! Good, good, you're so smart.
Smarter than you.
Alrighty then, go ahead and roll up the stuff. Roll up lots, grow nice and big. Whee!
So this condominium building was built in 1981 by a group of developers. Champlain Towers South Associates, led by the Canadian property developer Nathan Ryber. I assume we're gonna have to know that name because we're probably gonna need someone to blame later on when we get a full report of what happened.
Yeah, the full report still hasn't come out yet, but we're probably gonna hear his name a lot in the news.
The main reason that full report hasn't come out is because they technically can't go in and do full investigations until the crime scene status is taken away from it, and that has only recently just been done. We've only just completed recovery operations on the 23rd.
Yeah, and also this... Oh, you've grown! Good, good, you're so cute.
I know.
The Katamari that big, you can climb also, you gotta keep in mind that this condominium collapse was in Florida, which is currently going just diving headfirst into their second COVID wave.
Yeah.
Well, second COVID wave. More like their 56th COVID wave.
I was
at this
about
point.
to say, remember last spring whenever they were opening up the beaches again?
Yep.
Remember how Florida's full of old people?
I swear they want them dead. I swear they want them
I
dead.
seriously think it's a form of population control.
Got them there safe and sound. Wowie is yet another thing you can do. Also, like, Governor DeSantis has, like, signed a law saying that parents can choose to, like, not let their kids wear masks in schools.
So we're
I'm
just gonna
sitting here
kill children.
Yeah, and I'm just like, with the Delta variant, which actually is proven to be fatal to children. Oh, you just... yeah, this is a cousin to Prince, or a cousin once removed. We forget.
Sounds like the South.
Cousin, kin, something like that. Alright! Time for you to challenge Ace head on! Also, I gotta roll up enough to roll him up. And so I'm just like, wow, the Republican Party, where you can willingly choose to kill your living, breathing child who currently exists.
But you can't kill
But
fetus.
but God forbid, but you better not abort that fetus, by God. You better fucking not.
Ooh, I just realized whenever I go, if I go today, I get to go talk to Mom about gossip. I'm happy about that.
Oh. I kidnapped my cousin.
Again, sounds very southern.
Anyway, let's go back. Royal Rainbow!
Oh god.
Fucking love Royal. I feel like I should have put an epilepsy warning on this stream.
Do you want me to do that?
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's okay, but... He is very muscular, Jesus Christ. Like, his legs are goals, I'm not gonna lie.
He got them thighs, though.
Yeah. It's not what we were thinking of. But it looks kind of fun and kind of sort of fun game. A kind of sort of fun game. We are a little touched. So big and just from a training run. See, Gomez, I would feel the same way about, like, you know, well, if you don't want to get vaccinated, then you can fucking die. And whenever it's a case of they just chose not to get vaccinated and they die, I am out of sympathy for those folks.
I don't care.
But at the same time, there are people who, number one, cannot get vaccinated, but also the more people who stay unvaccinated and get infected, the greater the likelihood of another mutation of the virus.
Yep.
Cousin Ace, what were you doing on Earth? You were at the tutorial stage? We have no idea what you're talking about. Katamari feels strange-ish. Not that we understand if that's a good thing or not. He's king spreading. Well, he is the king, so yeah. Oh wow, I remembered everything. Really everything this time. It's totally the best. Katamari Damashi. Your Highness, thank you so much. Okay, can we get to the game now, please?
I was about to say, I kind of have things to talk about.
Like, Kayla's got stuff she wants to talk about. We're so pleased. What should we do with it? Oh! We can pop it up into the cosmos. Yes, that's what we'll do.
Come on, I got a flood story where the flood actually comes back after it stopped.
The flood comes back for more?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm not fucking joking.
Wow, that's amazing. This is the select meadow. Talk to fans, chat with cousins.
I
do a
don't
little saving,
care.
look at your collection, do a little dance, make a little love.
I'm an introvert. Leave me alone. I just want to go inside this house and stay there.
Okay. There's one more group of people that I hate just as much as the anti-vaxxers is folks that get the first shot but for whatever reason don't show up for the second one. It's a dose in the trash and an appointment somebody else could have taken. You are technically 2 appointments somebody else could have taken.
Yep. Preach, Izzy.
Do not quit the game. Which we've only just begun. Beard, the nose, that. Oh my god, it is the chin! No, fuck off. Fuck off, I want to roll things. Where's the regulars?
Where's
Let
the
me roll
story?
things. Yeah, let me roll shit. Jesus. Just switches the characters. I don't want to switch the characters. I want to roll things. I think I probably have to talk to that bitch. Okay, see the royal rainbow. Yep, sure, fine. Okay, fine. Let's go see the fucking royal rainbow.
Let's convert you.
Well, let's utilize the gay agenda. We're hungry. Our tummy is empty. What shall we eat? Oh, it's the prince. What? What kind of food? Huh? Royal rainbow? Okay.
Chaplain Tower South was part of a 3-building complex, along with Chaplain Towers North, that was built at the same time, and Chaplain Towers East, which was built in 1994. The original was built in 1981, so 13 years later, they were like, hey, let's throw up a third one, fuck it. All of them were L-shaped structures with 12 stories, and the South building contained the most units at 136, including a rooftop penthouse, which makes this so much better.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Okay. William M. Friedman and Associate Architects Incorporated was the architect for the project's 1979 contract drawing. Again, we're probably gonna hear this name again.
Mm-hmm. Really, it's kind of interesting because while most of our disasters are kind of a look into the past, this is kind of a little bit of a look into the future.
Yeah. Okay, this music slaps.
Yeah, I like it.
Briderman, Dorado and Associates Consulting Engineers were responsible for engineering aspects in the 1979 contract drawings. Again, probably gonna hear their names later on.
Probably.
Yeah, they took over structural items as well as electrical and mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably really gonna hear their names later on.
Oh, yeah.
And Natel Construction Incorporated of Miami Beach was the general contractor for construction of all 3 buildings.
Again. Go ahead, just keep those names in mind.
So this project is actually the first new construction in the Surfside area following a moratorium on new development due to water and sewer infrastructure problems in Surfside in the 1970s.
Oh boy. Oh.
Yeah, in 1979, the developers actually paid the city $200,000 to fund a replacement of the sewer system and to make sure that they get approval for the construction of the condos. They're like, hey, we'll give you this money to fix the system, but you gotta make sure that we're allowed to do our building as soon as it's fixed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna be,
Izzy, you are right. There are a lot of engineering disasters in Italy. And why is that? Corruption.
Yeah, that actually is like,
The biggest thing.
honestly, most of our disasters, like, hello, corruption, my old friend. Thank you for causing another mass amount of deaths.
Yeah.
Hello, corruption, my old friend. You've come to kill people again. Only slightly joking about that.
So, the collapse section is literally only 3 sentences right now, again, because we don't have a full report, and all we can go by is, no shit, surveillance footage from within the building showing the building collapse.
Wow.
And
I
now,
kind of, sometimes I forget just like how, sometimes I forget that we have technology now to show us these disasters in real time.
yeah, also, I'm not going to link the surveillance video, because we don't need that.
We do not judge you for the things that you choose to Google so long as they are legal. However, we do have limits on things that we will choose to willingly share with you.
Yeah.
So, I think that's probably like one of our main standards. Like, we will not judge you for what you choose to Google as long as it's legal. But we
we're
do
not
have
gonna
standards on
include
what
them.
we're gonna. Yeah, we do have standards on what we're gonna show you.
Yeah.
cream puff. We're just gonna kind of skip through this because it's just tutorial things.
So, the 3 sentences on the collapse. The Chaplin Tower South building suddenly suffered a partial pancake collapse at about 1:25 a.m. on June 24th, 2021, lasting less than 12 seconds. 12 fucking seconds.
Wow, 12 seconds to just fucking... Ooh.
Yeah. This abrupt collapse isolated and destabilized part of the northeast corner of the building, which also collapsed approximately 9 seconds later.
So it was like a domino effect almost.
Yep. Of the 136 units in the building, at least half of them were destroyed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were one of the... So imagine you're one of the lucky few that did not get destroyed. You just like...
Holy Jesus!
Star Trek? I mean, Star Wars?
I'm about to say,
I guess that's the queen. It's just like shattered egg while she was doing.
maybe it's a boy, you don't know.
It very well could. You know what? You're right. That was an assumption on my part. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize for assuming your gender, person. Oh, they just want to have fun and be a kid, but they can't because they have a very strict father. That storyboard was quite interesting. It's a storyboard, but the pictures move, and there's music, and it's an extreme storyboard. That's what it is. Oh, was that the king? Well, now don't I look foolish with egg on my face?
The egg that the goose shat out.
Yeah, that goose egg on my face. What it showed is a glimpse into our youthful days. Pretty tumultuous tale of daring do! Stop. Can't wait for episode 2. What? If we keep rolling, we'll eventually get to see it? Yeah, so let me roll! Let me roll! I want to roll!
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
I wish to roll.
There we go.
Real things
Don't care,
nice to
don't
meet
care,
you. You're
don't
stylish
care,
as ever.
don't care.
He loves Katamari, he rolls up everything, but his room is a huge mess.
Okay, so as of July 22nd, 2021, a total of 98 people are confirmed dead, all of whom have been identified, thank God.
So we do have a confirmed, conclusive count and identification of the dead.
As of right now.
As of right, okay, yeah. That
Because there's still a whole bunch of debris, because it's been sectioned off as a crime scene so far. It's only recently been lifted, so they actually need to clear out the debris, and there's much more room for them to find more bodies that they weren't able to see.
So still a chance that we could basically have something popping out of the vent like a fucking Jack in the Box.
Yes.
Godbird of all the people in USA. You know what? You're right, Gomez. Holy shit.
That's why I
That's
pointed
very
it out
true,
to you.
yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate you all correcting me. It's how I learn. And it's just further proof that you can still say dumb shit even whenever you're a member of the LGBT community.
is that why they banned
In other
those
words, fuck Blair White!
Okay.
I fucking don't like Blair White. Fuck her. She spends all of her time just like making fun of trans women who don't look feminine enough for her.
Oh, I was like, who's the...
And also, like, anytime that any trans person does something remotely problematic, she, like, jumps on top of them and just, like, starts saying, look at this awful thing that they did. Not like me, the good trans person, because she cuddles up to conservative people.
now I know. She's the,
Yeah, she's that person. Fuck her.
she's the trans, she's
She's the transphobic trans woman, yeah.
transphobic trans woman who acts as the stand-up doll for conservatives to be like, look, we can't be all that bad, we have a trans friend.
Basically, yes. She willingly makes herself the token trans friend for all the
Conservatives.
assholes to hold up. The alt-right, really.
Yeah.
I mean, she's trying to put some distance between herself and the alt-right, but it's like, sweetheart, that ship has sailed. That ship sailed, circumnavigated the globe, and has come back laden with exotic spices. Also, fuck you. I really don't like Blair White.
I've already They say that some occupants may have not been officially reported as missing, so it's possible we're gonna find additional bodies in the debris. I would put money on it. We are gonna find at least 5 bodies.
We're very likely, yes. Would not surprise me at all.
Excuse me. On July 6th, the Washington Post reported 126 survivors. So, right now, the survivors are outweighing the dead, but only just so. And again, it's extremely likely we're gonna find more bodies in the debris.
So, what happened?
We don't fucking know!
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, we don't know yet. Matt McMuscles hasn't gotten back to us about it.
Yeah. We don't have a full report. A lot of this story is mainly just like rescue and relief operations.
Okay. Tell us about the amazing people who saved people. I gotta hear all this bullshit about how amazing the cops are while they've got their boot on my fucking neck. Tell me about people who actually help folks, please.
Well, on June 24th, more than 80 rescue units responded to the collapse.
All of them stood there, took a deep breath, everybody shotgunned a beer, and they got to work.
Pretty much, including the mayor, who showed up.
For a photo op or like to help?
Yes.
You know what? If they're helping, fine, whatever.
Yeah, this was immediately after the collapse. Like, 10 people were immediately treated on the scene. 1 person was dead already. That was fun. And 2 people were hospitalized. And they actually ended up later surviving because they fell from the 9th floor down to the 5th floor. And this woman, with a broken pelvis, she pulled herself and her daughter out of the rubble.
Holy shit, that is fucking badass!
But her husband did not survive.
That is really sad.
Yeah.
But also, that was very fucking badass.
And you're gonna appreciate this part. Their family cat was later found wandering near the collapsed building completely unharmed.
Okay, that does make me pretty happy, yeah.
Lost a husband, still got my cat.
Yep.
So, just the first night alone, at least 35 people were rescued, and 159 were unaccounted for.
I remember seeing the updates on Twitter whenever, like, those... It started off as, like, 159 unaccounted for, this many dead, and then, like one number, as things progressed, one number would steadily go down, the other number would steadily go up.
Yep.
It was kind of like, it's just like how I described shipwrecks. It is watching a disaster slowly unfold in real time and not being able to do anything about it.
Yep.
Because everything that can be done is already done.
Yeah, they officially declared a state of emergency for the area at 4:33 p.m. on June 24th. About 14 hours after this happened?
God.
Yeah.
Why is it sometimes they're just on top of shit, like, immediately, and then other times it's like, we'll get around to it.
Yeah. The governor of Florida later showed up on the same day and issued a state of emergency to be given at the whole state level rather than just that area. I'm just like, okay. When was this whenever COVID hit? Ooh, what happened with that?
So, oh shit, we can't blame this on complications from the building collapsing.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. There's a question for all the COVID assholes, for all the COVIDians. There's the question for them. Okay, so did everybody, all the people who died, did they die from a building collapse or did they die from complications related to a building collapse?
I don't know.
Like, that's the thing I want to do to Dad after that fucking stupid ass SpongeBob thing that he put me through. For those of you who don't know, when Herman Cain died, I mentioned, Grandma mentioned that he was dead.
We've told this story a couple times, but we're gonna tell it again.
Yeah, Grandma mentioned that he was dead, and me and Dad were sitting there, and I said, yeah, he died from COVID. And he went, no, he died from complications of COVID. I said, which he had because he had COVID. Yeah, but it was the complication. But he died because he got COVID. It was like the Man Ray wallet thing where he's like, I found this library card in this wallet, and if that's the case, this must be your wallet. That makes sense to me. Okay, then take it. It's not my wallet. It was that.
Israel offered clothes, medication, food, water, and other aid to the victims of the collapse because at least 35 of the missing people were Jewish.
Oh.
It wasn't even clear if they were Israeli citizens. They just heard that 35 Jewish people are in this, and they're just like, yeah, we want to help.
Well, okay. It's like, okay.
Yeah, other search and rescue task forces were coming in from, like, surrounding states, and even as far as 3 teams, 1 was from Ohio and 2 were from Virginia.
Yeah. So they were just like, hey, we'll come from wherever to help you out. That's pretty cool.
It's COVID, they had nothing else to do.
I guess. Well, still, I mean, it is one thing that I do like about a lot of the disasters is sometimes you do get to see these great moments of, like, human beings coming together to, to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. There. Newness, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Next. I want to roll. I want to roll. How dare you fucking tease me about being addicted to rolling up the Katamari, and then you won't let me fucking roll up the Katamari! Fuck you!
Israel also dispatched a team specializing in providing psychological and emotional stabilization following traumatic incidents to help out the people from this disaster. So Israel was fucking stepping up. And they were just like, hey, we gotta help.
I'm not gonna make the comment that I really want to make because I genuinely think I will get banned from Twitch if I do. Not because, for the record, not because it's an anti-Semitic comment, but because it would have been it would have been teasing Israel about something, and the science is iffy on how that's gonna turn out for me.
The staff of the Miami Heat handed out water and snacks to the emergency workers. There were also World Central Kitchen and Direct Relief staff out helping and maintaining the care of the rescue workers. And the American Red Cross volunteers assisted people displaced by the collapse.
As long as it wasn't... it wasn't the Salvation Army, because they weren't, like, digging people up and going, okay, but, like, are you trans?
Are you, like...
Are you gay? Yeah, are you gay? Yeah, are you queer in any way, shape, or form? And if they said yes, they would have reburied them.
Oh, sorry, we lost them.
What?
That would have been
no! I would have fucking stabbed them. Cunt bags. Salvation Army sucks.
Yeah.
Don't give to the Salvation Army, they're assholes.
Didn't they shut down an entire, like, support center just because gay people were using it?
Yes, and also, one thing that the Salvation Army does is, whenever victims of domestic violence are in their shelters, they'll hold them to, like, really insane standards of behavior, and if they don't meet those standards, they're, like, immediately kicked out and not allowed back in, and then their shit gets sold. They're not allowed to come back in to get their stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. The Salvation Army is really awful, y'all. Do not give to the Salvation Army. Give to give to Red Cross, give to literally any other organization. Well, not literally any. Do your research on an organization before you donate to them, but fuck the Red Cross. I mean, Salvation
I was about to say!
Red Cross is fine.
Red Cross didn't do a damn thing to you!
Yeah, Salvation Army is really horrific. Yeah, their stuff gets sold. It's really bad, Gomez. You know, a victim of domestic violence, do not take them to a Salvation Army shelter. Take them to a safe shelter. Take them literally anywhere else. Isn't that like illegal? What are they gonna do about it? They're homeless people. Like, do you think they have money? Do you think victims of domestic violence who have been displaced from their homes have money for a lawyer?
Not to mention, they probably, if they hold them to such an insane standard, they probably make them sign papers saying that,
yeah,
I will abide by these rules or else XX and X consequences.
Yep. Pretty much. Salvation Army is the cousin to those fuckers that killed and buried native children. Oh, well then double fuck them in that case.
So
we'll have to tackle that topic at some point, right?
Oh god, yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that
Didn't they
That's
call-
going to be a very special stream where I will be including a link to, like, donate to organizations.
I was about
that
to
are
say, that's gonna
assisting.
be your charity stream.
Yeah, that's going to be a charity stream, talking about that. Anyway.
So on June 25th, rescue teams from Israel and Mexico had joined the search and rescue effort, and they were rotating in 2 daily 12-hour shifts, sifting through the rubble.
Yay. But that was fun. God, that's gotta be, like, such an emotionally and physically exhausting experience, you know?
It's like, yay, I can leave my house now, but at what cost? So June 26th, the mayor in a news conference explained that there was a fire deep in the rubble,
Oh, goody.
and smoke was impeding the ability of fire and rescue personnel to search for survivors.
I imagine that the smoke was also impeding the survivors' ability to survive.
Yeah. No further victims were found that day.
I imagine not.
Yeah, all they did was kind of change the toll to reflect 5 dead and 156 missing. That was your Twitter moment of the day.
Yep. The things that get you, like, even if the collapse doesn't kill you, there's water pipes bursting, there's fires that will break out. Like, the longer you're trapped, the less your chances are of getting out alive.
Yeah, also the mayor, Mayor Burkett of the Surfside area where this 3-part condominium place was, they never, like, officially declared that people should evacuate the surrounding buildings.
Why not?
I don't know, I guess they couldn't be fucking bothered. But by late afternoon of the 26th, almost 2 days after, people were doing voluntary evacuations.
They're like, hey, y'all, we should... Honestly, I feel like the one thing you should always take away from these disaster casts is the second that someone tells you, please stay where you are, don't listen to them, fucking leave immediately.
So, fuck the stay put policy.
Yeah, that would be my big thing I would want people to take away from these streams is always, fuck stay put policies, fucking leave. Always fucking leave.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you need to stay in place so that the rescue workers know where you are. Okay, but how about instead, if I can, I get myself out so they don't have to work to try and save me?
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know. And on the 26th, officials announced Thor.
I'm sorry, what?
Thor, a 1,000 square foot mobile command center.
Fucking police will find any goddamn excuse to get a whole bunch of money to make a fucking command center.
It includes cellular, satellite, and VoIP wireless systems, UHF and VHF radio systems with built-in generators, and this was deployed for at least 10 days.
I think that probably the survivors would have just preferred a good backhoe. A backhoe is a type of tractor, everybody. You know that type of tractor that's got the bucket in the front and it's got that, like, crane scoop thing on the back? That's a backhoe. I think the survivors would have rather had that.
They would rather have 7-year-old me driving a backhoe.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I drove a backhoe whenever I was 7.
Mm-hmm. It's really fun.
Yeah, we both learned how to drive and work a backhoe before we were 10.
Yep. It's really fun.
It is actually a lot of fun. So June 27th, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers were finally dispatched to go on site.
Finally! I love how I was like, yeah, so finally we were like, oh hey, maybe we should get the folks who, like, this is their whole thing.
Yep. The Israeli Defense Forces Homefront Command also arrived on that same day, along with a 6-person psychotrauma unit from the Israeli-based United Hatzalah, including K9AA see our therapy unit, aka therapy dogs.
Yeah. Caroline mentioned earlier that apparently during 9/11, handlers were finding their dogs like trying to bury themselves because they were getting so depressed from finding so many dead people.
Yep. A volunteer team in this Israeli unit was actually brought in because they specialized in rescues and gathering body parts for Jewish burials.
Yeah, because there's like pretty specific customs for a Jewish burial, isn't there?
I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they're. I just know that there are pretty firm customs.
They're strict. And
come on, King of all Cosmos, you can do it. Apparently, you cannot.
you try.
Aww. Look at the little rabbit just happy with his little carrot. Oh, the handlers started pretend burying each other so the dogs could find and rescue a live person.
Oh,
That's really sweet.
thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, that turned from really depressing to unexpectedly wholesome. You know, weird. About as wholesome as 9/11 could get, I guess.
So that same evening, they advised that 9 people had been confirmed dead and 152 were missing.
Yay.
Yeah. June 28th, another death was confirmed, bringing it to 10. 151 still missing. So while the operation was entering its 5th day, the government tried to stress, look, we're still focusing on search and rescue for survivors. It's still a rescue operation rather than recovery. They were trying to make that very, very clear. And I kind of get it. Especially as that afternoon, the 11th body was found.
Yeah, I think there's a certain number of days that will pass before it becomes a recovery mission.
Yep.
Gonna
So-
go rolling underwater.
Oh, that sounds like not fun.
Probably gonna see fishies. It's the return of the Subnautica stream, everyone!
So the Miami Marlins, ironically enough, on where we are, the Miami Marlins, they started a foundation, basically a relief fund for all the survivors. And they were matching $50,000 donations, which the Marlins majority owner and chairman, Bruce Sherman, and Anthony, I can't pronounce his last name, they donated $50,000.
Oh, that's good.
The Marlins ownership group also put in an additional $25,000, and any additional $50,000 they were matching to make sure it's taken care of. Which I'm like, okay, people coming together to help. We love to see it.
Yeah.
This is why SpongeBob told you don't go near the hook.
Yeah, I guess so. We want to be reeled into. We want to splash and flop and gasp. Like, King, are you like? Is this your way of saying you got a BDSM thing?
Are those
Because,
dogs
like,
okay?
Yeah, they got scuba gear on.
It's
They're
a
fine.
dog and a cat.
They're fine. You see their little tails wagging. They get their scuba gear on. They're fine. They're just chilling. Let them live their life.
It better be okay. Okay, June 29th. Sorry. Trying to get my head together because fucking cat and a dog in a car underwater freaked me out. But you know, everyone was still working 12-hour shifts, but the workers were also being medically evaluated to make sure they were both physically and mentally okay enough to work on these sites.
Yeah, because despite the fact that people like to go on about snowflakes and therapy dogs and all that shit, rescue workers really do need them to do their jobs, because their jobs are very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially something of this size.
Yeah, and at that point they were deploying small radio-controlled robots with cameras on them to go into the harder-to-reach areas to see if they could find anybody. That same day, the dead had risen up to 12 and 149 were missing.
The way that you phrased that, the dead had risen, I was like, holy shit, this really did turn into a disaster.
Yes.
Like, you mean to tell me we've had the fucking zombie apocalypse going on this whole time and I've just been missing it while I've been working?
Well, I mean, the same thing happened on Roanoke. Why wouldn't it happen
Oh,
here?
fuck you. Fuck you.
I love how that's a legit theory taken seriously by some people.
I hate it.
I hate it too.
And I choose to believe that they don't actually take it seriously, they're just trolling. I must believe that.
God, I hope so. So, on that same day, at least 3 million pounds of concrete have been removed from the site.
God.
Yeah.
They were working.
Yeah, rescue workers weren't able to re-enter the west section of the building because it was so unstable, even though it was still standing. And they were like, no, we're not gonna... Part of the building fell down. We're not gonna fuck around with the other part of the building.
That's fair. That's a reasonable, That is a reasonable boundary.
Yeah.
We respect boundaries in this house.
Yeah. So June 30th, an additional 6 bodies were found, including the wife and 2 children of a man whose body was found June 26th. That family was wiped out. And that brought the death toll to 18. Always fun?
Death toll's just kind of racking up at this point.
Yep. So July 1st, yeah, that was the only thing that happened on June 30th was, oh, we found the rest of this man's family. They're in about the same shape he is.
Literally every new day is just, but wait, it gets worse.
That's why I'm not even bothering. I'm just like,
Every time we go to a new day, just go ahead and assume that Kayla's saying, but wait, it gets worse.
oh wait, it gets worse. July 1st. So, search and rescue efforts were halted at 2 a.m. Again, because the western portion of the structure that hadn't collapsed was pretty much getting ready to fall down.
It was a swooning and a swaying.
It was shimmy shamming in place, and people were like, I don't want to fuck with that.
I mean, who can blame them?
Yeah. Also, around the same... but wait, it gets worse. There was concern about Tropical Storm Elsa making landfall.
Oh
in
yeah,
South
that's right, that bitch!
Remember how that happened?
Meanwhile, that bitch is just kind of coming along and like, let it go.
Let it go.
And it was like, please no.
Yeah.
Not because they were sick of the song, but it was just like, please no. We really can't right now. We cannot.
Yeah, so the search resumed after a 15-hour delay. And good news, they found one more body.
Did they ever find anyone who was still alive?
I cannot remember. If they do, I'll tell you.
Okay. While you look over your notes.
Yeah. The same day, the National Institute of Standards and Technology was like, hey, so we're gonna go ahead and just inspect every other condominium building in the area and probably
yeah, just like, hey,
the rest
while
of
we're
Florida.
here, just FYI,
Yeah.
we're just gonna have a quick look around. We're already in your house. You've already given us permission. We don't need a warrant, so we're just gonna look at everything while we're
Yeah,
here.
there was a mass effort at that point to be like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and inspect all of these buildings just to make sure everything else is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Why name is Elsa?
Because somebody at the somebody working at that meteorological station had a kid whenever Frozen came out and was so fucking sick of that song.
Also, the other Frozen movie came out around that.
Oh yeah, I guess it's probably that. It was already on the name chart for the year.
Also that. The other Frozen movie had come out around the time they were getting the name chart ready.
Oh. Can I just say, can I just be brave and tell you all with my full chest?
Your full binded chest.
My full binded chest. Well, not binding today because it's a lazy day. Yeah, I'm not doing anything today. My full chest, can I just say, I actually really like that song a lot.
Let it go.
Yeah, when it comes on, I'll sing along to it. I really like that song.
Me too, but I think we had the virtue of, like, not having a kid who was playing it on repeat constantly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Also, whenever they decided they were gonna, like, deploy teams to go and check the structural integrity of other buildings, they had to specify, look, we're not really doing this to find the major thing that caused the collapse here. We're just doing it to make sure no other danger is coming for any other building. I'm just like, okay.
I actually haven't seen Frozen 2 because
I haven't either.
Everyone kept on going on about, oh, Elsa's getting a girlfriend. I was like, it's not fucking happening.
Yeah, I knew that was
like,
gonna
that's
happen.
never gonna fucking happen. But everyone was like so into the idea that it actually turned me off of the movie before the movie even came out.
Me too.
Because I was like, I feel like I'm getting queer baited by. I mean, it's not even by the goddamn movie. Disney's not giving me any. Loath as I am to defend Disney on fucking anything, like, Disney's not lying to me and making me think this is gonna happen. It's these fucking idiots that
We
are
got
doing
two
it.
versions of the same character kissing each other before we got full-on approved gayness.
Yeah. I'm just picturing birds singing along to Let It Go, flinging their boobs away and attaching a magical pink. You are not wrong, Izzy.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of funny because, like, there was this conservative Christian blogger who said that Let It Go was about, giving into homosexuality. That it was Elsa.
Giving in?
Yeah, I know, right? That it was Elsa, throwing away the cis heteronormative lifestyle and living as a gay woman.
I mean, I can
And
get
people were
behind
like,
this.
well, the thing was, like, people were like, oh, it's just a song about her letting her powers go. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting there like, look, I don't interpret that as that's Elsa's journey, but the song does speak to me on that level, because that was a lot of how I felt whenever I came to terms with my sexuality.
See, you got a different interpretation of it. My interpretation of it, for me, myself, fabulous. I don't know why that came out. That just kind of did.
That was great. I loved it.
Is her letting go of her parents' expectations and being true to herself and acknowledging she has problems and trying to deal with them.
Yeah, I think it's like, that's the thing about art, and especially music. If it's good, you can interpret it in the way that means the most to you.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Now wait, it gets worse. On July 2nd, they found the bodies of 2 more victims.
Yeah.
Brought it up to 20.
Yay, nice round number.
Yeah. Yeah, they brought the missing down to 128 because they received a report regarding a potentially missing person. Only one? And...
Bird, are you non-binary? I'm gender fluid, Caroline. So, that means that,
Bird don't conform to your rules.
Well, at work, people use she and her pronouns on me because I'm working at a call center and I have a very feminine name, so, you know, that's just how the customers refer to me. But outside of work, I actually prefer he and they. But I'm comfortable with all 3 pronouns. It's just like, I like balance, you know? But it's just kind of, sometimes I am me without a binder in a bra and everything, and then sometimes I'm me with a binder on, and sometimes I'm me with a binder and a packer. It's just I am how I am.
I look too pretty in a dress to feel like anything else.
Yeah, kind of. You do look very good in a dress.
I do. God, those antidepressants are really working for me to finally have confidence in myself.
They actually are. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. So, on the same day, July 2nd, cruise ship, Royal Caribbean's Explorer of the Seas, was docked at Port Miami, and because so many rescue groups were showing up, they actually housed a whole bunch of rescue workers in their cruise ship.
Wow.
Yeah, to like give them a place to sleep and rest.
Good.
Yeah.
Have you decided on a new name? I mean, Bird works pretty well for me because it's pretty gender neutral. I just kind of have everybody call me Bird at this point. It's what I like.
Yeah.
Although I do have to introduce myself as Stephanie in my calls, and I hate it.
So on the evening, that soul was brought up to 22 because they found 2 more bodies that day.
Mm-hmm.
Always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor, Levine Cava, ordered the remaining structure to be demolished as soon as it was feasible. And they
That's
were like,
good.
yeah, we don't.
We're not doing this shit again.
Yeah, pretty much. Also because engineering assessments were basically saying, hey, this standing portion is extremely unstable, and it can fall down on the rescue and recovery teams at any moment.
And we better not do that. That's pretty bad optics to kill your rescue team while they're rescuing. Oh, I didn't tell you about this. I'm sorry, I keep derailing everything, but
That's fine, honestly.
Yeah, but honestly, yeah, these podcasts are pretty chill. But my so my supervisor, I have an awesome supervisor, y'all. Like, she is amazing.
She respects pronouns.
She does. She like asked me my pronouns and everything when I told her that pretty much everything's fine, but I really like because I explained to her, I was like, you know, customers are going to use she pronouns because that's just how my name is, and I get that. But honestly, like, I have my friends, I like it whenever they use he and they instead because it like feels more like a balance. And she changed, like, we were going through my evaluation for my bi-monthly evaluation, and she changed the pronouns in my evaluation right then and there for me. And she's like been referring to me as Bird, basically right from the start, which has been awesome. And she puts out these, so like she kind of likes to motivate everyone by posting little excerpts from people's surveys whenever they say good things about the person who is helping them, like as a motivation thing. And the last one that she posted for me, because you know normally when the customers talk about me, they'll say Stephanie. She changed all the instances of Stephanie to Bird and changed all the instances of she to he.
Aww.
And that really meant a lot to me. That like meant a ton to me that she did that.
Doesn't she also like ask you questions about LGBT stuff because of her daughter?
Yeah, she'll ask me like, she asked me like she knows that I'm like kind of, I find it's easier to describe it as non-binary, so she knows that I kind of occupy that space in gender, and sometimes she'll ask questions about it, which is totally cool. I've been like, yeah, that's fine, you can ask me stuff. Because she asks in a way that's not like rude or anything, it's clear that she's wanting to learn more, which is really awesome of her. Finally, we can talk. You can't talk during loading, you know? Finally have our own voice back, we can't talk. What?
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 What? We're sleepy, we're just such a sleepyhead. Stop it! You make me want to nap. I might take a nap after this.
I'm probably gonna drive 3.5 hours after this.
Oh. You text me when you get there so I know you're not dead?
No, and how dare you ask that of me? Okay, I will! Jesus.
Thank you.
Fun fact, Bird can do that for quite a while in order to get me to do something. The record right now is 45 minutes.
Yep. I'm very persistent. It's much like the Android 13 DBZ Abridged movie. How did Dr. Gero have such a hard time killing you? I'm very stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you fucking know. Okay, but wait, it gets worse. July 3rd, 2 more bodies found.
Oh,
We're up at 24.
We're about to hit. Oh man, we've passed Jim Carrey's the number 23. How is he gonna obsess about this?
I don't know.
If we don't have 23 in there.
He was able to write himself $1 million check. He'll survive somehow.
Probably complain about it being the vaccine's fault or some shit. Is he anti-vax for the COVID vax? I know he's anti-vax, but is he like... What's his stance on? I imagine he's probably anti-vax for the COVID vaccine too. But I've seen some anti-vaxxers be like, no, get the COVID vaccine. Because I guess now that we're actually in a situation similar to, you know, polio and shit like that, that vaccine's eradicated, I guess now they're starting to see a little bit of reason.
I'm not seeing much of anything on him.
Maybe he's finally shut the fuck up.
Maybe.
By the way, if you've not seen H Bomber Guy's video on vaccines, please watch it. It's
Do it.
fucking incredible. I love H Bomber Guy. If he ends up, like, turning out to be, like, some sort of serial rapist or some shit, I'm really gonna be sad, because, like, I love his work.
Yeah.
So it's like, H Bomber Guy, please don't turn out to be a serial rapist, okay? Thanks. That's like my one standard. Just, please don't turn out to be a serial rapist.
Well, let me see.
I love how our disaster casts sometimes are like, alright, we're gonna talk about this thing, and then we, like, steadfastly focus on talking about the thing, and then other times the disaster cast is, we're gonna talk about this thing, while also taking, like, 50,000 sidetracks and side conversations, and also, by the way, give me just a second, I've gotta Google the entirety of the French-Belgian conflict or some shit like that.
Okay, you know fucking what? People like it for some reason.
I know, right? Like, why the fuck do you people like this? I mean, I don't say that in a way to make fun of any of you. Please keep staying around and liking this, because
Please
I'm
stay.
genuinely so fucking proud of what this has become.
I don't see anything in particular about the COVID vaccines, but I know, like, he in particular is anti-vaccine.
Yeah, he's probably anti-COVID vax. Good God, he's pissed.
What'd you do?
I didn't roll the Katamari big enough in time. Alright, dude, I'll make another Katamari. Jesus Christ. Chill the fuck out. Yeah, to be fair, the game is very cat. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, he poked fun at Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis and him being totally cured, so I don't know if he's pro or anti-COVID-19. I don't know!
I don't fucking know either, man.
July 3rd, so they were like, okay, we're gonna move up the demolition of the structure because of Tropical Storm Elsa. And the search was suspended. The rescuers used visual searches, thermal cameras, drones, and animal traps to try and locate pets left behind in the standing portion of the building.
Nice that they, were going to all that trouble to find pets.
They didn't find any.
Aww.
Well, it'd been, like, I think over a week at this point, whenever this collapse happened. I think the animals would have gotten the fuck out at that point.
If they could get out.
Well, this was in the standing structure of the building.
Oh, okay. Hell, the animals were probably out before the collapse even happened. I'm telling you, fucking animals, man. If you see a whole bunch, y'all, listen to me. If you see a whole bunch of rats, like, frantically running away from something,
Or just scurrying in one direction.
yeah, like, as a big mass group, fucking follow the rats. Follow the goddamn rats, seriously. Dax, holy shit!
What the fuck?
Dude, thank you so fucking much! That is really fucking awesome of you! You are seriously amazing. Thank you so much, Dax, for that $150 tip. Jesus Christ.
Tits out for Dax!
Tits out for Dax, yeah. Tits out. Wow. Thank you so much, Dax. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, dude. I hope you're doing well. And, hope that we get to do some more Phasmophobia soon.
We love Dax on this channel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We support Dax in this goddamn house.
That massive tip.
Jesus.
Dax is great. I love Dax. Alright. So, but yeah, if you see a whole bunch of, rats running in one direction, fucking follow them.
Yeah.
Follow those fucking rats. Drop everything you're doing, follow the rats. Trust me on this.
Yeah.
That's how, I think I mentioned before, that's how some of the survivors of Titanic managed to find their way up above deck, was they followed the rafts.
Ah, yes, in the documentary Titanic by James Cameron.
Well, that's also a thing that really did happen.
Yeah, that actually did happen.
Yeah. It ought to be about the documentary Titanic by James Cameron when you've probably watched it. You've probably watched it more than James Cameron has, and I think he helped edit it.
I'm probably gonna watch it whenever I go see Mom this weekend.
There you go.
Yeah.
You gonna show her our Subnautica stream?
Probably, honestly.
I do love that thumbnail. So, you know. I'm very proud of that thumbnail.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Yes, I know.
Are you having fun? Are you winning some?
I think so. I'm
So,
gonna try to.
but wait, it gets worse. July 4th,
Oh, great. Happy Independence Day.
yeah, so basically that day and through the night into the next day, they were planning, okay, we're gonna have to demolish the western part of the building, and we're gonna have to get that done.
We're gonna have to do that, like, ASAP.
Yeah, pretty much just fucking ASAP. So they paused the search for survivors, and they
The
were
search
gonna
for bodies at this
search
point.
for bodies at that point, honestly.
Yeah.
And they were gonna have the searches resume almost immediately after, once everything was cleared out. Again, understandably so. A petition with over 18,000 people had signed to halt the demolition plans until all pets were found in the standing portion of the building.
I mean, they were probably out by that point, let's be real for just a
They
moment.
were already out, but an hour before the demolition, a county judge denied an attorney's emergency motion to delay demolition and allow people to retrieve their pets. Because I'm assuming at that point, people were already the fuck out there with their pets.
Yeah.
I would have been.
So it's kind of a case of who the fuck was writing this petition?
I assume people on the internet who didn't know what they were doing.
That's usually what happens. Hey, hey, Jordan. We know what organization was probably spearheading that, don't we? If you know, you know.
Okay,
Well,
so
probably not, because they've calmed down a little bit. They've gotten better, so I won't be too mean.
anything better than shit is still shit.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, they have gotten better, so I'll give them credit for that. Anyway,
There's surveillance. Okay, this is according to Izzy. There's surveillance footage of a shelter that shows all cats waking up and looking around seconds before an earthquake hit.
basically, animals know.
Animals know, man. And no, Jordan, I don't think that they have calmed down. I don't think they have.
Who, PETA?
Yeah.
No, fuck PETA. Fuck PETA and fuck the Salvation Army.
Once a shit, always a shit. So the demolition took place at 10:30 p.m. on July 4th, and the search for survivors resumed 20 minutes later.
And it's just like, alright, let's just real quick stop long enough to knock this building down.
Pretty much. And we're just like, red light,
Green light.
green light. I mean, the only good thing about the fact that this happened during COVID is everyone already had masks.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, no, it was Florida, so.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, so the odds of that are iffy. We did it! Yay!
Yay. So July 6th, more bodies found. Because they now had more access to parts of the rubble that they couldn't get to before. But, you know.
So, you know, upside to the demolition.
Yeah. Still had 113 listed as missing. And again, Tropical Storm Elsa was coming. She was getting a bit stronger. She was letting go of all those weights weighing her down.
Storm blows high on the mountain tonight!
Oh, God, yeah. And by this time, it was classified as a Category 1 hurricane.
The wind is howling like the swirling storm inside! Couldn't keep it in, and fuck no, she didn't try. Okay, I promise that's the last one.
No, it's not.
It's probably not.
By that afternoon, 12 bodies 12 additional bodies have been located, and they found 4 like the day or two before. So that brought the death total up to 36, and 109 still considered missing.
Well.
Oh, it's a star now. Awesome dude. That does not. Oh, okay. I was like, that does not sound like the king of all cosmos, and then I saw that little shit hanging out. I don't know why I keep calling kids little shits.
I don't know either. I thought I was the one who hated kids.
Oh, we got that rebellious phase.
He went and did karaoke. Such a rebel.
Oh, shit.
And he got into fights.
Okay.
He got his pompadour cut off.
Oh, no.
I love how he just picks it up and walks off with it. That's a fucking boss move.
The July 7th, in a private briefing with families and later for reporters, 10 additional bodies were announced found, and they were kind of moving into recovery operations at this point.
Yeah, they pretty well accepted. Okay, they're dead.
Yeah. They hadn't detected any voids or spaces in the rubble where survivors could find shelter, so they were like, yeah, we're pretty sure they're dead. But Tropical Storm Elsa had weakened a bit, and it finally made landfall, so it didn't cause as big an impact as they were fearing.
That's good at least.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm sure they probably would still prefer no hurricane at all, but, you know.
Yeah. So basically throughout the month of July, they were just still constantly searching. They did find a cat named Binks who was alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hashtag long live Binks.
Yeah. And they actually found 7 survivors on July 9th.
Wow.
They didn't search too well for those fucking gaps and voids, I guess.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, they found an additional 15 bodies, but...
Well, still, they were able to find some people who were still alive.
Yeah, 7 were found. Or, yeah, there were people that they were able to find.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah. And then, you know, they just kept finding bodies and bodies and bodies and bodies. Until we got to July 26th with a...
We're in space.
Well, we are making stars, aren't we?
Yeah, but we're gonna roll up the sun.
So, July 26th, the final missing person was identified. Death count stands at 98, all positively identified.
Huh.
Yeah. On June 24th, a lawsuit was filed by the residents of the building against Chaplin Towers South Condominium Association for $5 million in damages.
Okay. But we're not far enough in that for that to start going anywhere.
Nope.
Fun fact, lawsuits take a fucking long time.
The wheels of justice move slowly.
Mm-hmm.
On July 2nd, the Chaplin Tower South Condominium Board issued a statement to the press.
Oh, good! I sure do love a good statement.
The surviving members of the Chaplin Tower South Condominium Association Board have concluded that, in the best interest of all concerned parties, an independent receiver should be appointed to oversee the legal and claims process.
An independent receiver that we just happen to know.
We're gonna shut this off on somebody else. The collapse of Chaplin Tower South is an unspeakable tragedy that has devastated our community, our neighbors, and our friends. We are grieving and our hearts ache for those who have been lost and for their families. They have our deepest condolences. Our profound gratitude goes out to the emergency rescue personnel, professionals and volunteers alike, who have been working around the clock. We know that answers will take time as part of a comprehensive investigation, and we will continue to work with city, state, local, and federal officers in their rescue efforts, and to understand the causes of this tragedy.
Alright!
That's my snooty accent.
I kind of like it, not gonna lie.
So, they did immediately look into launching an investigation, but again, everything moves fucking slowly.
Yeah. It's gonna be like this time next year before we really see anything.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm not saying a resolution, I'm saying anything.
Yeah, right now they're mainly just focusing on getting evidence, like they're focusing on the government getting hold of all communications and paperwork from the companies that were taking care of the shit. Just to be like, okay, where's everything? Where's everything? Who can we blame?
We're still in that who can we blame phase.
Yeah. On July 14th, they actually released the 911 calls from the collapsed towers.
Holy shit. Is it
Again?
basically, holy fuck, there was a building here and now it's gone?
Again, I have not looked them up. I am not going to link them, but whatever you choose to Google in your own time is your own business.
It's like from the Essex whale ship. Whenever the ship goes down while while a couple of the folks are out hunting whales, and then they just turn around and like, hey guys, has anyone seen the fucking ship? People like, hey, has anyone seen the fucking condos?
Yeah, basically. There are talks of like what's gonna happen to this site after we clear out everything and get it all moved. Some family members were calling for it to be used as a memorial park rather than
that's not gonna happen.
redeveloped into housing.
Oh, that's not gonna happen. A condo like that's got a board? No, there's gonna be a new condo up. There will be a new condo up and running before the investigations and the lawsuits are finished. Mark my words on that.
Yeah, on July 14th, a circuit judge approved the sale of the property to developers on the condition that proceeds are to benefit the victims and their families.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'll find a way around that.
Oh god, yes. Jordan says we should cover sinkholes in Florida.
Speaking of disappearing buildings, yeah! Sinkholes in Florida are a bitch.
We only had one big sinkhole here in our town.
And it was a bitch.
It was a bitch. It almost took down a Taco Bell.
I mean, it kind of did, because that Taco Bell's no longer in operation.
Oh, yeah, but it wasn't really the sinkhole's fault.
I think they've given up on trying to build anything on it. I think they're just gonna, from what I understand, they're just gonna try to, like, mitigate the damage, and that's gonna be about it.
But you can't build anything on it. It's where three rivers converge. Yes, Dax, at Taco Bell. Minx would be very disappointed. So, there are theories of the possible cause of the collapse. However, I don't want to get into them purely just because I want to wait until we actually have the cause.
If you having done understanding that you're just working with very, very little evidence right now, understanding that you're working with very little evidence, your own experience with watching a lot of disaster podcasts, but also doing the DisasterCast. If you had to,
If
like,
I
gun
had
to your
to
head,
hazard
you
a
had
guess?
to hazard a guess. Yeah, gun to your head, you gotta make a guess. What would you say?
I would say it's probably a mix of, you know, there's that saying that whatever bridge you're driving on was built by the cheapest offer to the city. I think part of it is lack of good material being used on these condominiums because it was the 80s and they were just trying to get them up fast.
Mm-hmm.
And also it probably, because that area had issues with, let me go back up here. they had issues with the water and sewer infrastructure right before they built it. I could see that being an issue just slowly waning on the area where they built the condominium.
Okay. So you think it's a combination of like poor materials and also just a bad foundation in general?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. I think that's a fair assumption.
That's what I personally think, but again, I'm not an engineer.
Yeah. And also we don't have the full reports yet.
Yeah.
It's just based off of historically what it tends to be whenever something like this happens.
So, the Johnstown Flood, otherwise known as the Great Flood of 1889.
Ooh, we're going back in time.
We go way back, baby.
Somebody get Pitbull.
You get the fuck out of this house.
No, I refuse. I refuse.
Yeah, Izzy, what we do know is that someone done fucked up.
Yeah. We know that, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that a fuck up occurred.
Fuck up occurred, and we are gonna get an answer sooner or later. Most likely later.
And it'll probably be a very dissatisfying answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, the flood.
The Flood. So, before the shit happened, Johnstown was it was a bit of an industries town. It was founded by Swiss immigrant Joseph Johns, and with a population of about 30,000, it mainly focused on steel production.
Okay.
Because, you know, around this time, whenever cities are being built, they kind of focus on one particular thing. I think for us, what was it? Moonshine and then NASCAR?
Yeah.
Some shit. So high above the city, there was a cross canal system built on the South Fork Dam that was there between 1838 and 1853. And this was just, you know, something built by the state of Pennsylvania just to try and control some of the water, what have you.
Right.
Very, very normal thing. And there was a reservoir behind the dam.
As is the case usually with dams.
Yeah, and then railroads started to become much of a thing.
Yeah, so they jumped onto that naturally.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, what if we focus on like trying to build some railroads and shit, especially near this now abandoned canal where this dam was. So, the Pennsylvania Railroad bought the dam and the lake, and the railroad just was gonna be part of it. They were like, okay, we're gonna wipe everything out, and then we're gonna build it all up from the top.
I get a feeling, I'm getting the feeling that this is one of those disasters where it's not really caused by one singular thing, but by just a combination of things.
Kinda.
Okay.
So Henry Clay Frick. I knew you'd like that.
With the most just beautifully dramatically ironic name.
So he and a group of speculators from Pittsburgh were like, oh, okay, we're gonna purchase this abandoned reservoir, modify it, and make it into a private resort lake for their wealthy friends.
Oh boy. I think I see where this is going.
See, most of the people that he knew that he was gonna, you know, bring in on this were connected via Carnegie Steel.
Oh, fuck Carnegie!
Carnegie.
Fuck that motherfucker and his fucking union busting bullshit.
Later, Gomez.
Bye, Gomez!
So yeah, they were like, okay, we're gonna make our own little place for us and our Richie friends.
We're gonna John Galt it.
Yes. So they went about lowering the dam to make its top wide enough to hold a road. They're like, we're gonna put a fucking road on here, and then we're gonna put a fish screen on the spillway. Fun fact,
Blackjack and hookers.
the fish screen was also gonna end up holding a lot of debris.
Oh boy.
So, you know, that's gonna probably play into something later on. I don't know about you.
Nah, why would it do that?
Yeah, so, you know, ironically enough, lowering the height of this dam and trying to put a road on it and putting on these screens that catch a lot of shit that way down the front of the dam. Surprisingly, this, made it a lot less safe.
Strangely enough.
Made it very vulnerable to shit.
This is like whenever I take it back what I said before about it being a multitude of different things. This is like a Jenga tower when you're knowingly taking out the blocks that are contributing the most to stability in the tower.
Yeah, speaking of taking out stability, but wait, there's more. A system of relief pipes and valves that are normal in dams, they were supposed to be replaced, but they were not. They were just...
No, it's fine.
They had been taken out previously and sold as scrap, and they just didn't replace it.
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
No, that's just a suggestion, right?
Yeah, the club had no way of lowering water now if an emergency came up. And you gotta remember that they had no way of lowering the water.
That's the thing about rich people, like, they seriously are just convinced that all rules and laws are just suggestions, and that includes the laws of physics.
And it was the 1880s.
I mean, they're still that way now.
Oh god, yeah.
Eat the rich.
So the members built cottages and a clubhouse to create the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club, an exclusive and private mountain retreat.
God.
Membership grew to include more than 50 wealthy Pittsburgh steel, coal, and railroad industrialists. Town of 30,000 down here, 50 wealthy fucks up here. Hey, that's a metaphor for some bullshit.
Gentrification? What?
What?
Earliest gentrification, what can I say?
Yeah, so the lake was about 450 feet in elevation above Johnstown. About 2 miles long, 1 mile wide, and 60 feet deep.
Yeah.
Just a lot of water. A lot of water.
Did my game just freeze?
No. After 1881, when the club opened, the dam was springing a lot of leaks.
Wow, what a shock!
It was patched mainly with mud and straw.
I ran out of time.
So yeah. So, on May 28th, 1889, a low-pressure area formed over Nebraska and Kansas. So by the time it reached Pennsylvania 2 days later, it had developed into what would be the heaviest rainfall event ever recorded in that part of the United States.
Wow. So it's like somebody's making that really shaky Jenga tower, and then Mother Nature comes along and says, yeah, I'm about to ruin this man's whole day.
Mother Nature came in with an earthquake. No, but in this case, it was a lot of rain. Because remember how I said they didn't have any system now to get rid of the water? Should it reach a higher level?
Which you need in a dam. It's very important for dams to have... You ever drove past a dam, y'all, and you see, like, water coming out of it? That's a controlled release of water.
Yep.
So that this exact thing does not happen.
Yeah. So, that lake, it was quickly growing in size enough to where, it was ripping out tree and debris and even telegraph lines that had been nearby.
Good God.
So a lot of shit.
This thing was fucking shit up.
Yeah, like in the surrounding area, other telegraph lines and even rail lines were just washed away completely.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's like that one dam disaster that we talked about where it was like, watch, I will make this, where Mother Nature went, I will make this town disappear. And then it fucking did.
There's a lot going on. So on the morning of May 31st, in a farmhouse on a hill just above the South Fork Dam, Elias Unger, president of the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club,
and owner of an absolutely bitching name.
He's a rich man, we don't like him.
Yeah, but I can still say his name is bitchin'.
He awoke to the side of the lake just being heavily swollen from the heavy rainfall.
Walked outside and went, river looks a bit swollen today.
Yep. He ran outside in the still pouring rain to assess the situation, and he saw the water nearly going over the edge of the dam. I was like, shit.
And had a moment of, oh, I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to happen.
He quickly got a group of men together to try and save the face of the dam by unclogging the spillway that was blocked by the broken fish trap that they had put in and debris.
I'm guessing that didn't work out the way they wanted it
Did
to.
not. Other men tried digging a ditch at the end of the dam, or at the other end of the dam to try and relieve or just move some of the water somewhere else. I don't fucking know what their idea
Quick,
was.
save our expensive properties. The people. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. They were trying to let out some water from the lake. I assume using buckets on the mud at the edge of the lake and just hefting it away. Just like I've seen my pool boy do this before.
Just like cupping their hands and throwing the water over the edge.
Probably. Yeah, they were trying to pile mud and rock on the face of the dam to try and hold it up a little bit.
That's not how that works.
No, it's not.
You're just making it worse.
They are making it so much worse.
Like, the problem is that it's too top heavy. You know, like your mistress. You know when she wobbles a bit and then she falls over at her heels because she's too top heavy? That's the problem you've got going on right now. Maybe somebody should have explained it to them like that.
Probably. So John Park, an engineer for the South Fork Club, he thought, maybe we should cut through the dam's end where the pressure would be less to create another spillway. And then they decided against it.
Even though
Because
that probably would have fixed it.
That probably would have been the best idea, but they were like, but that's going to ensure that the dam completely fails.
But no, because, like I said before, controlled spillage is important to keep a dam structurally sound.
Okay, here's some shit. This is why the town of Johnstown was not evacuated whenever the shit was happening.
Oh no.
Twice, under orders from Unger, Park rode on horseback to the nearby town of South Fork to the telegraph office to send warnings to Johnstown explaining the critical nature of the eroding dam. Unfortunately, Park did not personally take a warning message to the telegraph tower. He sent someone else instead.
Okay, can I feel like I'm justified in complimenting this guy's name, even if he was a rich douchebag, because he did try to...
He was genuinely making an effort.
He was trying to get the town back. Because I thought you were going to tell me that they were just like, no, just don't tell him, it's fine, we'll get it under control.
No, it was this other motherfucker.
Okay, I feel justified now in complimenting the dude's name.
Understandable. So yeah, the warnings were not passed to authorities in town, and there had also been many false alarms in the past of the South Fork Dam not holding against
rich
flooding.
people doing their thing again.
Yeah, they had so many other false warnings that they were like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, so fuck you guys. We know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get us all to move so that we don't come back. We get what you're trying to do here.
Yeah. So everyone just abandoned their efforts around 1:30 p.m. because they were like, we're not saving this shit. We can't do anything. So Unger ordered all of the men to fall back to high ground on both sides of the dam, and they just couldn't do anything else at that point but watch and wait.
So, well. And then Unger, looked at the guy he sent to the telegraph office, and he's like, well, thankfully, you told them what was going on so that they evacuated Johnstown, right? And the guy just stood there and went, and then Unger went, Jim?
Oh, wait, there's more.
Oh, God.
During the day in Johnstown, the situation... Because, again, it's raining this entire time that all this has happened. The situation worsened because water rose as high as 10 feet in the streets, so some people were trapped in their houses.
Holy shit. So even if they were like, maybe we should take this seriously, they couldn't get out?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, boy.
So yeah, between 2:50 and 2:55 p.m., the dam broke.
Oof.
Yeah, it had at least 3.843 billion gallons of water the moment that it collapsed.
God damn, pardon the pun. I swear it wasn't intentional, but god damn.
Yeah, the first town that was hit was not Johnstown. It was actually, South Fork. and the town was on high ground. So most of the people escaped by just running up to the nearby hills when they saw the dam spilling over. 20 to 30 houses were destroyed and only about 4 people were killed.
So they got very, very lucky.
They got very lucky because they just happened to live on a town that's higher up.
Well, that's why in Civilization I always build my towns on hills. I'm not even joking, I legit will do that because it gives you a defensive advantage.
I don't know.
Whenever Gandhi decides he wants your nuke, technology.
So continuing its way downstream to Johnstown, 14 miles west, the water picked up, trees, houses, animals, people.
Like the Katamari.
Now the flood was momentarily not stopped, but stemmed because it came to the Condominium Viaduct, a 78-foot high railroad bridge. So, it stopped whenever the debris was jammed in the stone arcs of the bridge. And then within 7 minutes, the viaduct collapsed.
Yeah.
So it became part of the water that was now rushing towards Johnstown.
Great. I tried to help, but I made it worse. The story of DisasterCast.
But wait, there's more. Because of the delay at the stone arch, the floodwaters gained renewed hydraulic head, so it became stronger.
Oh boy.
And it was able to have more power when it was knocking shit down. Yeah, small town of Mineral Point, about 1 mile below the viaduct. First populated place to be hit with this renewed, stronger force. 30 families lived on a single street.
It's better than ever.
Yeah.
It's back and it's bigger than ever. It's like Sharknado.
Oh wait, there's more.
Oh boy.
When this thing hit, there was no structures, no topsoil, and no subsoil, only the bedrock.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and fun fact, everyone, you gotta dig real deep to get the bedrock.
Yeah. Like, when it's bedrock, it's if you've ever played Minecraft, you know that you gotta dig deep to hit the bedrock.
Yep.
Alright, we've reached the stage of the Katamari game where we start terrorizing human beings. Yay!
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, just bedrock. That toll was approximately 16 people, which is surprising.
That genuinely shocks me.
Yeah. So the village of East Conma was next, and one witness on high ground near the town said the water was almost completely obscured by debris, so it looked like a huge hill just rolling over and over.
Holy shit.
It looked like a Katamari.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it literally was a Katamari. Come on. Yes!
Yeah, so John Hess nearby was in an idle locomotive. He was in a train. And he heard and he felt the rumbling of the approaching flood, so he immediately threw his locomotive in reverse and was just blowing the whistle constantly to try and make some noise, trying to alert people, be like, hey, shit's happening.
Wow.
His warning did save a lot of people who managed to reach the high ground.
Well, that's nice at least.
Yeah, so when the flood hit him, it picked up the locomotive that was still moving and just kind of pushed it off the tracks and floated it to the side.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
When water hit, it picked up train and move it over.
I don't like my train here. I think I'm gonna move it over here. It's more feng shui.
Yeah. I mean, Hess survived.
That was probably a very weird moment for him.
Yeah, 50 people died, at least. Which included about 25 passengers who were stranded on trains in the town. He tried. He tried. So, before hitting the main part of Johnstown, the flood surge hit the Cambria Iron Works, because remember, I told you, this town was all about their steel production.
Right.
So they sweeped up, the water swept up a whole bunch of railroad cars and barbed wire.
Oh, goody.
Remember that. So of Woodvale, that nearby town, out of 1,100 residents, 314 died in the flood. But wait, it gets worse. Boilers in the ironworks exploded. So black smoke was seen by the Johnstown residents.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
And miles of barbed wire became entangled in the debris.
Oh.
Miles of it.
Oh, you're fucked at that point.
You are fucked.
You're gonna get, like... Y'all ever seen the first Silent Hill movie?
Yep. I did.
That's what you're looking at right there.
Yep. So 57 minutes after the dam had collapsed, the flood had hit Johnstown. It took an hour. A slow-moving disaster. You know, the kind that you especially like.
Mm-hmm.
The residents were caught by surprise. I don't know how. As the wall of water and debris just came down at 40 miles an hour, reaching a height of about 60 feet in some places. Yeah. So, some people tried to escape by running towards high ground, but most people were just swept away immediately by the floodwater. They were either crushed by debris, they were caught in the barbed wire, or they just, they drowned.
Yeah. Oh, God.
You okay?
No, just like, Jesus Christ.
Oh wait, it gets worse.
Right.
Those who reached attics or roofs or managed to stay afloat on pieces of floating debris were set to wait hours for help to arrive. But wait, it gets worse.
Oh, great.
At Johnstown, at the stone bridge, it was a substantial arched structure, and it carried the Pennsylvania Railroad across the river, so the debris carried by the flood formed a temporary dam at the bridge,
Oh my God.
resulting in the flood surge rolling upstream, and gravity caused the surge to roll into the dam, which, once it hit the wall of this makeshift dam, it rolled back immediately into the town.
The flood literally turned around, came back, and said, but wait, there's more.
Yep. Caused the second wave to hit the city.
Imagine, like, you survived that first wave and you're like, holy shit, like, you cannot believe your luck. And then you see that second wave coming back, and you're just like, oh, well, fuck me.
Oh, wait, there's more. Do you remember how I told you those boilers exploded?
Yeah, I remember that. I recall that.
And remember
like
how
5
I had
minutes
mentioned there were, like, a whole bunch of trees and wooden debris
Oh,
in this whole
boy.
thing?
So now it's a fire flood.
Fire flood with miles of barbed wire.
Holy shit, this thing was literally just
Your
Mother
worst
Nature.
nightmare.
Mother Nature wasn't just fucking around. Mother Nature was like on her fucking period and was determined to be a bitch.
If I'm gonna be miserable, so is everyone else.
God.
So yeah, some people who had been washed downstream were immediately trapped by the burning debris piling up at the stone bridge, and at least 80 people died there.
Oh.
Yeah, and that fire at that stone bridge, that shit burned for 3 days.
God almighty.
Yep. So after the flood waters receded,
Yeah, Gaia was pissed!
yeah. This pile of debris that made this makeshift dam caught on fire had a whole bunch of shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was seen to cover 30 acres and reach 70 feet in height.
Oh, Jesus.
And it took 3 months to remove all of this debris. Part of the delay was because of the huge quantity of steel barbed wire, just covering up and entangling everything.
God.
What's worse, this flood or fire tornado? Well, this is fire flood with barbed wire. I think this one
Yeah,
wins.
I'm pretty sure this wins. Mainly just because, like, fire flood.
Yeah. Yeah. They eventually ended up using dynamite to try and blow all this shit apart.
Oh god. Is this after they realized, yeah, everybody dead?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, well, might as well just try to blow it up. We got like, well, everybody's dead. What do we do now? I got a lot of dynamite I've just been looking to use.
I mean, it was Pennsylvania in the 1880s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were gonna use it on the Union protesters, but to be honest, the flood was way more effective.
I was about to say, Flood got rid of more of them than the dynamite did last time.
Yeah. So we want to do with this now.
Yeah, and that stone bridge that stood up, held that debris, and made a makeshift dam, that bridge is still there.
Holy shit.
Yeah. In 2008, it was actually restored to make it just nice and pretty.
Because why not at this point?
Yeah. So the death toll came out to 2,209 people.
Oh god. Oh my god, toilet paper! We should actually get some more toilet paper soon. Because I fear another toilet paper shortage, everyone. I can feel it in my bones. Like one of the rats running away from an earthquake.
Let's say, are you now the animal warning of danger?
Kind of, yeah.
I can see that. So, the death toll was initially reported as 2,209, but I fucking kid you not. In 1968, in a book written by David McCullough, he reported that a man that was presumed as dead had indeed survived. In 1900, Leroy Temple showed up in Johnstown.
Leroy Jenkins!
He showed up to reveal that he had not died, but had extricated himself from the flood debris at the stone bridge and walked out of the valley.
He literally pulled an Alice from, well, there's your problem. Like, I was in a dangerous situation, and I simply
Walked away.
I simply walked out.
So, yeah, he had been living in Beverly, Massachusetts after that. I can't imagine why.
And he was just like, nope, done with this.
So, the official death count is 2,208. Because, you know, David McCullough, he wanted to make sure everyone knew this one guy survived. And I'm just
want
like,
to make sure you all know, this guy made it.
okay, weird flex.
Like, alright, you know, good for you. Good for you. Good for you.
Good, you were able to walk out of a dangerous situation.
Yeah. Alice would be proud.
Yeah. Yeah, bodies were found as far away as Cincinnati because of the
Holy shit.
because of the water. 99 families died, 396 children. Like, it was a lot of people. 777 people were never identified. I assume because they were with their families, and with the whole family dying, no one could really identify them.
Like, pretty sure this is this family. Pretty sure this is this family. Oh, there's the Johnsons, but they're missing one. It's probably the husband. Let's go check his mistress's house.
Yeah, these 777 people, their remains were buried in the Plot of the Unknown in Grandview Cemetery in Westmount.
Plot of the Unknown sounds so, like, mysterious and cool, but really it's just like, nope, this was just all the people that we couldn't identify, so it's less mysterious and more just really, really sad.
And, you know, obviously this was the worst flood to hit the U.S. in the 19th century. 1,600 homes destroyed, 17 million in property damage. Well, at the time. Around 2016, it would have been 497 million. 4 square miles of downtown Johnstown was completely destroyed. So, yeah, a lot happened. But the Cambria iron and steel facilities that were heavily damaged, they were back in production within 18 months.
Of course they were. Daddy capitalism, the machine of capitalism must continue to consume.
Yep. Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I told you that they ended up using dynamite to help out with the, wreckage at the Stone Bridge.
Yeah.
After working 7 days and nights to rebuild the viaduct into the town so they could have a railroad to get supplies in, Dynamite Bill Flynn and his Dynamite Bill Flynn and his 900-man crew were the ones to clear the wreckage at the Stone Bridge after they rode into town.
Oh wow, Dynamite Bill, huh? How did he do it?
I don't know.
He had a really big pickaxe.
Yep. And actually, Clara Barton, the nurse, founder, and president of the American Red Cross, was one of the first people to arrive on scene to help lend aid to the people who had survived the disaster. And since this was technically the group's first major disaster relief effort, this was seen as the beginning of the Red Cross.
Oh. Well, good for them. And then the Salvation Army saw that and said, hey, let's do that, except way more transphobic and shittily.
Yes. And people around the US and 18 foreign countries, including Russia, Turkey, France, Great Britain, Australia, and Germany, donated to try and help relieve some of the survivors.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Also, major flooding happened in Johnstown at least 5 more times.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Seriously, though.
I just love the young people.
Johnstown is kind of in a valley.
Uh-huh.
So when it rains, it rains.
When it rains, it pours.
Yep. Yep. The Army Corps of Engineers actually had to go down at one point, dredge the river within the city, and build concrete river walls to make a channel about 20 feet deep to try and help out with the big problem of flooding. They did this in 1936. There was still a flood in 1977.
Wow.
Yeah, these river walls, they withstood Hurricane Agnes in 1972. But in July 19th, 1977, a severe storm dropped 11 inches of rain in 8 hours. So the water rose, and, the city was underwater, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 people died.
Jesus.
Yep. So, afterwards, in the years following, obviously, some people blame the members of the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club for changing the dam and not maintaining
Oh gosh,
it
I wonder
properly.
why. I wonder why they said, yeah, it seems like this was their fault.
Yeah. The club was successfully defended by the firm of Knox and Reed. His partners, Philander Knox and James Hayreed, were both club members. I feel like that should be a reason to recuse yourself from a case.
You would think so, but that's just because you don't have stupid amounts of money.
Yeah, they successfully argued that the dam's failure was natural disaster and an act of God. And that no legal compensation needed to be paid to the survivors.
Yeah, it's like, it was just God's will. They literally pulled a thoughts and prayers.
Yep, they pulled the thoughts and prayers and it fucking worked.
Oh, fuck that.
Yep. Individual members of the club, millionaires of their day, did contribute to the recovery, including Henry Clay Frick, who donated thousands into the relief effort. But, too little, too late. And Andrew Carnegie,
Fuck him.
he built the town a new library. And meanwhile, I'm just like, you couldn't have built, houses?
Yeah, this is like whenever Amazon's like, oh, we made a special school for our employees' kids, and it's just like, you could try, just paying your fucking taxes.
Not overworking your people to the point where they have to have a special school for their kids because they can't take care of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no one got paid except by donations.
Yay.
Oh yeah, it's always fun. But, you know, investigations and stuff. They fucked up the dam too much to handle anything.
Yeah, like, it's pretty basic.
Yeah. Like, that's it. They fucked up the dam. They didn't have a way of relieving or controlled relief of the water. Should it get too high, so they fucked up. What did we learn today, kids?
Eat the rich.
Yes. So that's the Johnstown Flood.
Shit sucks.
You right, dope. Active god up your ass, Richie. Well said, Izzy.
Yeah. Wow, that one just kind of left me drained.
I mean, understandable as to why.
Anyway.
Casey Anthony.
Yeah, speaking of things that are going to leave you drained. Is there going to be any discussion about Nancy Grace and her contribution to the inability of people to remain unbiased in this case?
Kinda.
Just fuck Nancy Grace.
Yeah. Sorry, let me...
Here we go.
Sorry, let me find one other source for me.
Okay. Gotta get into the fun stuff now, yeah. Well, as if we haven't already been getting into some fun stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is...
Oh, look, it's Harambe. A very, very relevant meme here in 2021.
I was about to say, you just dated us.
The most relevant meme ever in 2021.
So Casey Anthony was born March 19th.
Kayla's like kicking up her feet and taking a lounging position. She's just like, yeah, I know this story. I'm about to spill some tea, y'all.
So Casey Anthony was born March 19th in 1986 in Warren, Ohio, as the youngest child of Cindy and George Anthony. George...
Oh, Izzy's just like, oh god, this bitch.
Yeah. So... Cindy worked as a nurse and George worked in law enforcement until later going into security, whenever they later moved down to Florida from Ohio.
Which is typically what happens when a policeman moves to Florida. He basically becomes a private contractor.
Yep. But he really wanted to work at Disney World.
Everybody wants to work at Disney World until
he wanted to be one of the characters!
Everybody wants to work at Disney World until you work at Disney World. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah. George Anthony, he wanted to be in the Mickey Mouse costume, but instead he worked as a security guard.
Well, you know.
He didn't work for Disney World anyway.
He couldn't even get that.
He couldn't. He wanted to work there, so he wanted to be one of the character actors so badly.
Wow.
That was what he wanted. Okay. The one thing about Casey Anthony is she is a fucking liar.
Yeah. Like, I actually, whatever else I dislike about Casey Anthony, and there's a lot to dislike about her, I do genuinely think she has a mental illness of being a compulsive liar. I do legitimately feel that way.
People who knew her whenever she was younger, they reported her as being like a normal kid up until around middle school, high school years. And that's when the compulsive lying really started. One big example of her compulsive lying was her graduation.
Okay.
So, Casey Casey did not tell her parents that she was several credits short of graduating, that she wouldn't be walking, that she wouldn't get a diploma, nothing. She was not graduating high school. She had just stopped attending classes at all. But she didn't tell her family. She let her family believe, oh no, I'm still gonna graduate. It's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. And it wasn't until her mother started asking, when is graduation? When can we get the tickets or whatever? That she finally had... She didn't even come clean. The school called to let them know she wasn't gonna be walking. But, on top of the shitstorm that is this family... Her mother, Cindy, said, okay, let's keep up the lie.
Wow.
We're not going to let anyone know that you're not graduating.
Yeah, what could it hurt?
Yeah, so whenever family members would ask, like, why doesn't she have her diploma? Why didn't she walk? Because there were still graduation parties and everything.
Yeah.
Casey's mother, Cindy, would just be like, oh, well, the school messed up.
Yeah, it was a filing error.
It was a filing error.
Man, I've told customers that whenever I'm just straight up fucking lying. It's not that I'm lying in the sense of like, oh, it's actually something really awful. It's a case of, I know what the problem was and I fixed the problem, but to be honest, it would take too long to explain what the problem is, so it's just easier if I just tell you there was a filing error.
Oh, I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah, and it's gonna get resolved in the next 24 hours anyway. It would just take too long to explain what the problem is, so I'm just gonna tell you it was a filing error.
Yeah. So I mentioned how her mother reacted in the situation. How did her father, George, react? He was a fucking doormat. He just... Casey and Cindy ran that house, and George was just there.
Yeah. We're not saying this as a way to excuse any of George's actions.
No. We're just trying to explain the family dynamic.
Yeah, it's just more of an explanation of the family dynamic. Everybody involved in this story had choices on how they could behave, except for the fucking child who was murdered.
Yep.
And we reserve all of our sympathy for her.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Izzy says, Casey's flavor of lying is the kind that makes Judge Judy go, ma'am, do not piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
God. Imagine if somehow Casey Anthony had ended up on an episode of Judge Judy. Like, holy fucking shit.
That would have been great.
Would have been hilarious.
So, that's a good example of the dynamic of the family of Casey being the pathological liar, her mother Cindy enabling her at every turn, and her dad George just there.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm here too.
Yep. So about a year later, whenever Casey was 19, she ended up getting pregnant.
Okay.
She did not tell anybody that she lied to her family.
I'm just putting on some weight.
Yeah, that was what she told her family, was it's just water weight. Like, it's nothing big. It's not a big deal. Only until her mother, Cindy, pressed her did she finally say, okay, yes, I'm pregnant. But again, Cindy, ever the enabler, whenever they went to family events and people started congratulating her about her pregnancy, because it was like 6 or 7 months at this point. It was easy to tell. Cindy would just say, "Oh no, that's just water weight. She's not pregnant."
And then the whole family was like,
"Sure,
sure, Jan."
Yeah.
The whole family was like, "I can't figure out if Cindy is lying too, or if she's just that stupid."
Yeah,
which turned out to be a thing that a lot of people would say. As whenever that case became a thing. Because I found myself saying that a lot, where I was like, I can't tell if this mom is, like, lying too, or if she's just fucking stupid.
So, it wasn't until the baby, young Haley Anthony, was born.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I told you that Casey was the second child of George and Cindy?
Yeah.
She had her older brother Lee. They did not tell him that she was pregnant until after she had given birth.
Fucking, and I complain about, and you complain about not being told about things.
Yeah.
At least at least our brother told us whenever his wife was pregnant.
They came and visited personally whenever
Yeah, she said, hey, I'm pregnant. Which is like, hey, cool, congrats.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. So, her brother got pissed. Because his dad and mom basically called him to say, hey, you're an uncle, you want to come see the baby?
I'd be pretty pissed off about that, too.
Yeah, he was pissed.
Well, I would be like, okay, first off, thank you for acknowledging my gender identity by calling me uncle instead of aunt. I appreciate that. But also, what the fuck?
Yeah. Also, another fun fact about the Casey Anthony saga. She had named 4 different men as the possible fathers to Kaylee, but to this day, we have never gotten confirmation on who Kaylee's father was. We still do not know. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, August 9th, 2005, Kaylee Anthony was born.
I can't even give a half-hearted yay knowing what awaits that poor fucking child.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start pointing to the Kaylee Anthony case and just being like, this is why abortion should be readily available. I know how awful that sounds, but it's the honest to God truth. I would rather that a clump of cells get aborted than a child be murdered.
Okay, Jordan, so we know at least 2 men actually existed, because one was an ex-fiancé, one was an ex-boyfriend, who had died in a car crash. But she had claimed another person had died in a car crash and was the father, but we don't know if he was real. And another one she just named, and we don't know if he was ever real. We were only able to DNA test, like, one of the guys, I think the ex-fiancé, and it was proven he wasn't the father. And that's about it. Also, in the time leading up to Kaylee's birth, Casey had talked with her friends a lot about looking into adoption. Because, you know, she's a 19-year-old kid with a baby coming.
If she was being sincere about that, that would have been the most responsible thing she could have
She
possibly
genuinely
done.
just wanted to give up the kid. She didn't want to raise a kid.
That would have actually been the most responsible thing she could have possibly done.
But you know what happened?
You're about to make me, like, punch something, aren't you?
Cindy talked her out of it.
I knew you were gonna tell me that! I knew you were gonna say that! I knew you were gonna tell me that fucking bitch told her not to do. Look, the adoption.
Cindy was like, "You are not doing that to our grandchild."
Listen, the adoption system is not the best in the world. I'll be the first to readily admit that. But she would have been a newborn little white baby girl. She would have.
She was gonna be fine.
Fast. She would have found a home fucking fast.
They would take her out of Casey's hands and hand her to the family that wanted her.
Yeah, like, I'm not even joking when I say that. Like, okay, so if you want to do, this is the honest to God truth, if you want to do adoption, if you want first off, if you want a baby, if you want it to be white, and you want it to be pretty newborn, so, you know, it doesn't have any quote-unquote trauma that it has to be trained out of, you're going on a really fucking massive wait list.
Yeah.
So, like, something like that, she could have very easily found she could have easily found
Anthony was
loving
like, "No, you are
parents to
not
that
giving
kid."
away our grandchild. You both are gonna live here at home." That's exactly what fucking happened.
Fucking hell.
Are you rolling a man?
Yeah, he's getting bigger so that he can be a sumo wrestler.
Whatever it takes to fulfill his dreams.
Yeah, we're happy to help.
So, it took about 3 years for shit to happen. Kaylee was almost 3 years old whenever everything went down. So George Anthony reported that on June 16, 2008, Casey left with daughter Kaylee and did not return for 31 days.
Right, this was the big thing that made people start going, what the fuck?
Yeah. So Cindy had asked repeatedly during the 31 days to see Kaylee, but Casey claimed she was too busy working at Universal Studios in Florida to be able to
This
see
is
her.
whenever Casey started telling him that she was working at Universal Studios now.
Casey did not work at
she
Universal Studios.
never worked at Universal Studios.
She had also said that Kaylee was not with her. She was with her babysitter,
Zanny!
Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, otherwise known as Zanny the Nanny.
Fun fact, Zanny the Nanny, yes, it is also a street reference to basically doping up your kid and making them sleep so you can go out and party.
Specifically with Xanax.
What? It's called Zanny the Nanny. I bet you money that bitch thought she was being so fucking clever. Then she found out there actually was a woman out there named that with that name, and she was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. The woman who later sued her, by the way, for being involved in any of this.
Good.
Yeah, she's like, I have never met Casey Anthony. I have never watched any child. I've never been a babysitter. And the fact that you
I fucking hate kids, as a matter of fact. Well, she probably didn't say that because
she probably didn't say that.
Because at one point she was being investigated for the kid's fucking murder, so you know. Like just one of the cabinet doors closing.
Okay.
Like just imagine that like you're just minding your own business and all of a sudden the police are like, "Hey, we know that you possibly murdered a child." Like fucking what? Well, this person you've never known named you directly. Fucking what?
Yep. So, again, it was later determined that Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez did exist, but again, just never knew any member of the Anthony family, and later sued Casey Anthony for defamation of her character.
Good.
So, Casey Anthony did not have her own car, by the way. She had to use her parents, George and Cindy Anthony's car. That they were allowing her to use to transport Kaylee. That was the only reason that they let her have the car. George later got a letter saying, hey, this car that you gave to your kid, yeah, it's been sitting in our tow yard for like 2 weeks now.
Like, can someone please come and get this fucking thing before we, like, you know, crush it or something?
Yeah, they were told someone needs to come and get this car. So when George went to go get the car, he found Casey's empty purse and Kaylee's car seat and toys in the car. He also noticed that the car fucking stank.
It reeked.
It smelled awful. So he had to go, he determined it was coming from the trunk. And he said, he muttered a small prayer to himself before opening the trunk because by this point he had not seen his granddaughter for like 3 weeks. And that man, he had an idea of what his daughter was capable of.
He worked in law enforcement.
He knew what a dead body smelled like. He said it smelled kind of like a dead body.
He amended it to kind of like a dead body, but you know that in the moment, he knew exactly what he was smelling.
And he opened up the trunk, and it was a bag of garbage with pizza in it. Maggoty, rotting food.
Which never smells like a dead body.
It never smells like a dead body, but
according to the story, he told the cops. Like, oh, well, maybe that was it. And the cops were just like, really, bro?
You worked in law enforcement for damn near 40 years. We know you know what dead bodies smell.
Yeah. You just know that those cops were like, bruh, come on.
So, by now, George and Cindy were pretty pissed. Because this car, completely empty on gas, that's the reason that it was in a tow yard, was because Casey drove it to a check cashing place, it ran out of gas, and then she just left it there.
Oh, I guess I gotta actually, like, roll him into the fucking sumo wrestler. Okay.
What'd you
Yeah,
do?
the mom also called, Cindy called 911 saying this was before they got their story straight.
This was the day of Casey admitting that she had not seen Kaylee for a month.
Yeah. Which at this point, I want to make something super, super clear. Cindy, I don't doubt for a second that Cindy wanted to know where her grandchild was. I don't doubt that for a second. But let me get one thing super clear to everybody. Cindy did not call 911 because, oh no, we must find this child. She knew what had happened to Kaylee at that point. She called 911 because she was mad at Casey.
She initially did call 911 to try and get them to come and arrest Casey.
Yeah.
She said, for grand theft, and I need someone to come down here and arrest this person. It was that
this
thing
was
that really
revenge.
shitty parents do.
Yeah, this was revenge.
Of thinking, I'm going to call the cops on my kid to try and teach them a lesson and get them put into the police car. And the police officer asked, So, are you going to press charges? And the parent looks at the kid like, I don't know. Are we going to press charges, Casey, or have we learned our lesson at this point?
Yeah.
Never do that to your kid, by the way, because the DA is just going to be like, no, we're charging them no matter what you say.
Oh, congrats on your walk, Raven. Good job.
Yay!
I'm having a lazy day today, so walk for the both of us. I guess I could probably go out for a short walk after this. Probably wouldn't hurt anything. Maybe get some air. But yeah, let's make it very clear. Cindy called 911. I don't doubt that Cindy wanted to know where her grandchild was because, you know, by that point she knew what had happened. But the calling 911 and saying come out here and arrest her was solely to get back at Casey.
For the car.
Yeah, for the car.
And for disappearing to her boyfriend's house, because while George was getting the car, Cindy was getting Casey and found her smoking weed at her boyfriend's house.
Yeah.
And basically dragged her home. And I'm just like, this woman is in her 20s.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not trying to defend, as loath as I am to sound like I'm defending fucking Casey Anthony of all people. This woman is in her 20s.
Yeah, it's just...
There's a lot of things to drag her away for, it's not this.
Yeah, don't use cops or cashiers to discipline your kids.
Yeah.
So, by this time, the entire Anthony family, including older brother Lee, are at the Anthony home trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Because again, Cindy and George... God, why do they all have to be named with a C?
I don't fucking know. Some sort of, like,
white
ego
person thing?
Yeah, white person ego thing.
So, they were all sitting around trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Where's Kaylee? Where's this baby? Where the baby at? So,
well, most of the family was trying to figure that out. Casey already knew and didn't give a fuck, and Cindy
she was lying and
Cindy
not
was more
anyone.
interested in revenge.
Yeah.
George was just fucking there.
He was probably arguably the only one really looking solely at trying to find Kaylee.
Yeah, but like looking in giant quotation marks.
And yes, Gedwin, we did name characters with a C. I did name 2 characters with a C, but you know what? I made them different enough I can differentiate. So, after probably an hour or two, including the first 911 call of Cindy calling the police to have them try to take Casey away, Casey finally admitted that she admitted, big air quotes, that
This was the first story.
This was the first story. She had left Kaylee with her nannies, Zanny the nanny, and Zanny was holding Kaylee hostage and keeping her and not giving her back. And she had been working this whole month to try and find where her daughter was and what she can do to save her without getting law enforcement involved.
Yep.
As you know, it'll happen. It's fine. So, her first story was Zanny kidnapped Kaylee. And that was the second 911 call made into the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
By this point, the Orange County Sheriff's Office is like, oh god, these fucking people again.
Pretty much. So Cindy called 911 again, this time a lot more hysterical, to say, hey, this 2.5-year-old girl, she's been missing for 31 days. Jesus. And her mother is only just now telling us. And she also said, quote, there's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car. Now, I told you, Cindy worked as a nurse. She
Both
and
of these
George
parents
know
knew
what dead smells like.
Both of these parents knew exactly what death smelled like.
They knew exactly.
Oh, I just didn't want to bother the cops with something so trivial like my daughter being held hostage.
You joke?
And that's pretty much No,
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're not even really joking all that much. Oh, music time.
Hopefully it's not copyrighted.
Oh well. I'm recording this stream, so this will
It's fine.
This will go directly up on YouTube when we're done.
Why walk anywhere when you can fly?
I mean, if I could fly, I'd... Well, no, I wouldn't fly everywhere because, like, I feel like people would think I'm just taunting them with my very existence that I can fly, and I'd probably get shit thrown at me, you know?
What, as a bird, you're too shy to fly?
I would use my flight to, like, reach things on high shelves.
So reach anything on a shelf?
Yes. But that would be basically it.
So after the second 911 call, police were really paying attention at that point and just being like, oh, there's a missing toddler.
Yeah. Like, Orange County Sheriff's Department, that poor officer at the front desk answers, like, sees the caller ID, goes, oh god, it's the Anthony's again, oh god. And picks up the phone, yes, and then finds out missing kid and goes, oh shit!
Yeah. Kid missing for almost a month.
Oh fucking shit!
Yep. So, the police were trying to work with the Anthony family.
Mm-hmm.
George was useless.
Wow, what a shock.
Lee wasn't there, so they couldn't...
Yeah,
ask him
he
anything.
couldn't do anything, so it's like, I'm sorry, I wasn't there.
Cindy was working too hard to cover for Casey. And Casey was just lying and lying and lying and lying. There is surveillance footage video you can find. She led the two detectives over to Universal Studios because she had been claiming this entire time she'd been working there, even when she hadn't. They were able, the detectives were like able to convince a manager to let them into the lot and go into the offices because while Casey was arguing with the person at the front desk being
Because
like,
the
no, I
person-
totally work here.
Yeah, the person at the front desk is like, I am the fucking receptionist! I know everyone who works here!
Yep.
Fun fact, that's why you always make friends with the receptionists.
Always.
Like, they know fucking everybody.
So the detectives were able to convince the manager to just let them in. They're like, we know she's lying, but we just allow us to walk in here and let us use one of your empty offices. And I assume as soon as he heard there was a missing 3-year-old, he was like, okay. So
Missing 3-year-old, and then they flashed a badge, and he went, you got it, officers.
Yep. There is surveillance footage I think you can find on the internet of Casey Anthony walking confidently with these two officers right behind her. She's waving at everyone, walking by, talking
Yeah,
like
just
she's
like,
been
what
working
the
there the whole time. Everyone's looking so confused. And she's trying to lead them random hallways to the office that she supposedly worked in. She turns down one hallway, and it's a dead end. And there's just a couple seconds of
The
her...
cops know at this point.
Oh yeah,
They've
the
known
cops
all
knew
along.
she had not
They've
worked
known
there.
all along.
They were just like, how far is she gonna go on this lie?
It's important to know how far a suspect is gonna go in a lie. It kind of gives you an idea of what you're dealing with, basically.
That's what they were doing with this.
You let the suspect just keep on talking and just incriminate themselves more and more.
That's what they were doing.
That's literally, yeah, that's what they were doing.
And whenever they came down the hallway to a dead end with Casey staring at this blank wall for a couple seconds, she turned around and finally said, okay, I don't really work here.
And they went, yeah, we know.
Yeah, they went, yeah, we know.
We're aware.
And Universal Studios let them use an empty office space, and they started interrogating her. Just being like, okay, you have been lying to us this entire time about where your child has been. And again, you can hear the interrogation video, the audio and everything. And she's constantly saying like, no, I didn't lie to you about everything. We're standing in the middle of an empty office that
Because you lied.
because you lied to us. You've been lying about where Kaylee is. You're lying about not knowing where she is. And she's like, no, I really don't know where she is. Bitch, we know where you know where she is.
And there's like, no, I don't know, I promise. Like, yeah, you do.
Like, we know you do because you are actively misleading the police's time instead of trying to find your child. So we know you know where she is. No, I'm not misleading you. I'm not been lying to you. And
It's like, maybe if I say it enough times, they'll start believing me.
pretty much. And then she was finally first arrested, on July 16th, 2008. Basically for giving false statements to the police and for child neglect and obstruction of a criminal investigation.
That was the warm-up.
That was the warm-up. The judge denied bail, saying Casey had shown willful disregard for the welfare of her child. I assume she was immediately just like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened.
And she was put into Orange County Jail for a month before a bond hearing was set, and the judge set bail at $500,000. You literally misled us into Universal Studios and misled us to a dead.
Yeah, just like, we know you're fucking lying!
So, on August 21st, 2008, after 1 month of being in jail, she was released after a $500,000 bond was posted by the nephew of California bail bondsman Leonard Padilla, in hopes that she would cooperate and Kaylee would be found.
Oh, honey.
That did not happen.
How old is this mother? She was about 21 or 22.
Yeah, she was like 21. Because she got pregnant at 19. She was probably closer to 22.
She was very young.
Yeah, so all of this is happening while the police are trying to find this little girl.
Yeah, Casey.
Yeah,
she
she
sounds
sounds
14. Yeah,
oh my god, dude, you don't even know. So, on August 21st was whenever she was released from the Orange County Jail. But on August 11th, 12th, and 13th, meter reader Roy Kronk called the police about a suspicious object he found about 400 yards in a wooded area near the Anthony residence.
Yep.
Yeah, the first 2 or 3 calls were basically ignored, and they
Yeah, which baffles me.
I found something suspicious behind the Anthony residence. By now, it had been over a month since the story broke, and again, Florida sunshine laws, it was immediately reported without any hindrance, and the nation was getting on this shit.
Yeah, like, a lot of people were like, bro. Because it was a little white girl who was missing, and here was this white woman just lying through her teeth, and everyone being like, look at the fucking justice system here, y'all.
Yeah.
They did try to act like he might have been guilty. They're like, oh, did you do something? Like, no, why would I report it?
They later used this, the defense used this later, because what Roy Kronk had did to try and get an idea of what he was looking at was he picked up a stick and poked it through what ended up being the eye socket of a skull to lift it up to see what he was looking at. And once he realized, he dropped it, and the defense used that to say, whole crime scene's contaminated, we can't use any of it.
It's like, no, he specifically did that to not put any of his DNA on the thing. Like,
no, it's contaminated. Contaminated.
Anyway.
So, August 12th, 11th, 12th, and 13th was whenever he initially reported. They actually did send 2 officers out to try and take a look at what he was looking at. But one officer, he kind of stumbled, and he got his shoe caught in, like, a puddle or something.
Holy fucking shit.
And he said, no, I'm not dealing with this.
Holy fucking shit.
Yep.
Like, no, I don't want to deal with this. I'm having a bad day.
Pretty much.
It's like, man, I'm having a bad day, too. I still fucking go to work.
Yep.
Well, because I will face consequences if I don't go to work.
And it wasn't until December 11th.
Holy shit.
Wasn't until months later that Kronk again called the police.
Can somebody please come out here and look at this? I'm pretty sure that I have found the dead body of Kaylee Anthony.
The police finally did show up at that instance, and they did report finding the remains of Kaylee Anthony in a trash bag.
It is amazing how, like, they'll, like, TV shows... If this was a TV show, Casey Anthony would have been some fascinatingly cunning sociopath who just knew all of the cops' tricks because of the fact that her dad was a cop. And so she just, like, knew all the ways to get around things. But the reality is just that the cops were so fucking stupid.
Yep.
That's the reality of crime.
That's exactly.
It's just a bunch of cops and robbers running around playing grab ass.
If you make it inconvenient enough for them, they will not investigate.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be smarter than the police. You just have to be willing to ruin their days.
Yeah. You just have to be willing to make their day difficult.
Yep. Yeah, if they had gotten to her in early August whenever Kronk officially reported it, they would have been able to get more DNA. There was tape found on the skull holding the jawbone on there, specifically where it would have been placed over Kaylee's mouth. They would have had more DNA and been able to pull off fingerprints from that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it didn't happen until December, whenever Roy Kronk was back out there reading the meter again and saw this shit still there.
I was like, y'all gotta be kidding me!
Pretty much. It's fucking disgusting.
Why would you hire people who are intelligent and can do their jobs whenever you can hire your buddies instead?
Yep. So, over the next 4 days from December 11th after they found the body, they were able to find more bones in the wooded area where animals had come and fed on the decomposing body.
It's like, hey, body, cool.
Yeah, they were like, oh, food.
Yeah, because that's what animals do. Animals get an animal.
That's exactly what they do. And on December 19th, medical examiner Jan Garavaglia confirmed that the remains were of Kaylee Anthony, and the death was ruled a homicide.
Finally!
It was not considered a death or a homicide at this point. It was still considered a missing persons case.
Which was like, no, she's been missing for a while. She dead. Whether or not we rule this as a homicide, she dead.
The only reason they couldn't determine it or rule it as a murder was because they didn't have a body.
Yeah, it's like, you can still basically be like, yeah, dead.
So yeah, Casey Anthony was, well, she was offered a limited immunity deal in late July to try and get her to talk and at least tell some of the truth of what fucking happened.
I think at some point she probably realized, holy shit, these people are fucking morons. I can seriously get away with this.
I mean,
I think she actually did have a moment of, holy
she's
fuck,
not wrong!
I can actually get away with this.
She's not wrong!
Like, if I just keep my mouth shut, I can actually get away with
That's
this.
the worst. Yeah, she didn't take that limited immunity deal. She never took it. Because it turns out she didn't fucking have to.
Yeah. She was just like, nope. Ironically, the one person who knows the #1 rule, don't talk to cops, the one person who actually made use of that rule and did so effectively, fucking Casey Anthony. That's the thing that makes me go, okay, look, she is a compulsive liar, let's make that clear. But I don't like this implication that a lot of people say, oh, she's just some stupid little kid. And
No,
all
she was
No.
smart.
She knew so... Like, I mean, I joked earlier about, oh, if this was a true crime, if this was a TV show, she'd be some daring, cunning sociopath who knew all the ins and outs. But, like, I'm not gonna go as far as, like, she was some super genius, but I think she probably knew a little bit about how cops work.
Yeah. Not to mention, you knew, like you said, at this time, Cindy probably knew what had happened, and you know they strong-armed George into telling them everything of what would happen with a case like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she probably did know.
She had the cheat codes.
She had the cheat codes. So, okay, so the remains were found on December 11th, but Casey Anthony was being pulled in front of a grand jury on October 14th and indicted for first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of giving false information to the police, because they were already pretty confident on what had happened.
She would later be found innocent.
She would later be found... There's difference between innocent and not guilty.
No, I know, but, like, you know, she would later be found not guilty.
Yeah.
So
they were already charging her before they ever found the body. They were that confident on what happened.
but not confident enough to listen whenever the meter guy was like, "Hey,
That's exactly what the big thing was with the trial, was because they were trying so hard to just go ahead and indict her even before they found Kaylee's body, so they couldn't use all of the evidence that they found whenever they had the body.
holy fucking shit."
They couldn't enter all of it into evidence because they had already by that point said, hey, we have a pretty good firm enough case to go ahead and charge her, and that's what the grand jury allowed. So they couldn't use a whole bunch of things from the body or any DNA evidence over there. One, because Jose Baez, her defense lawyer, was able to argue a whole bunch of it out of the case, but also because the prosecution wasn't able to bring it up at the beginning, so the defense couldn't get a hold of it, and they couldn't use it because the defense didn't have time to take a look at the evidence that they had, which you have to do in a court case. So the whole thing was because they were trying so hard to go ahead and charge her because it was an election cycle season and someone was trying to make sure he stayed on as DA.
Holy fucking shit.
Is because they jumped the gun too early on charging her. They should have waited until they found the body.
Fun fact, that is actually why charges end up coming so late in criminal investigations, like those big ones. It's because you have to do it correctly. Like Kayla said, you have to have evidence before you do it. So that way, you can introduce the evidence!
It's really hard to make a case without a body. It's damn near impossible to win a case when it shows up later.
Yeah. Oh, he just sucker punched that kid.
Child abuse!
Fuck yeah, punch him back! Oof, he sent him flying. Now he gonna be all pouty about it. He throws the first punch, he sucker punches this kid from behind, and then the kid punches him back very understandably. He gets his shit rocked, and then he's like, "Me,
I'm gonna be the bigger man and walk away. Therefore, I have won."
Or just be a brat, like, "How dare you hit me?" It's like, you hit him first, man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's okay to hit people after they hit you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, dude, you sucker punched him. I don't know what you thought was gonna happen.
Yeah. So
let's get to this fucking dumpster fire of a trial.
So on October 28th, Anthony was arraigned and she pleaded not guilty on all charges. And it was on April 13th, 2009 when prosecutors announced they were going to seek the death penalty.
Yeah?
Which, fun fact, also makes things a lot harder.
Yeah, if you want to put someone to death, like, the
you better
bar,
have hard concrete evidence showing them doing the crime.
Yeah, you already need to have proven it beyond
or they need to be
doubt, or you really need to have things like shored up if you want to go for a death penalty.
Yeah.
Because it's actually fun fact, it's actually harder for a jury to find someone guilty if they know that the death penalty hangs in the balance.
That's exactly
Because
it.
Funny thing about people, they don't want to put an innocent person to death.
Yep.
And so if there's any doubt in their mind of, okay, but fuck, what if they are innocent and I've condemned them to death? That weighs on a person, because people have sympathy. And, they think about shit like that. Normal people do, at least.
Yeah, so getting on the trial, there were over 400 pieces of evidence presented and put in on this case. Not a lot of them including the actual body.
Yeah, I was about to say, how many of them were actually useful?
Oh
my god, we're about to start a fire? Is it a gender reveal party?
You stole my joke!
No, I didn't. I just got there first.
You stole my joke.
Yeah, they were trying to pull the death penalty on a 20-something-year-old white woman. Like, this shit was never gonna work, even if it was a dead kid.
Yeah, it was not happening. So, one piece of evidence that they were able to find... God, this really should have been useful. They found a strand of hair from the trunk of Casey's car that was basically proven by DNA and by microscopic inspection to be Kaylee's hair, and it had what is called a death band on it. What this is whenever your hair... Okay.
Kayla's going into mortician mode right now.
Honestly, yes. Because there's always... Even I heard this whenever I was a little kid. That your hair and your nails keep growing after you are dead. That is completely false. That does not happen because your body's not making the chemicals or the nutrients anymore to go ahead and give you that. What's happening is that because you have lost all of your fluids and you're losing all your vitamins and minerals and shit whenever your body is now dead, your skin shrinks back. So it looks like your hair and nails are growing longer, but really your skin is going backwards and just revealing what was already ready to grow beneath that. So, what the death band is, it's whenever your skull shrinks back against the hair that's already on your head, and the death band is where the skull once was whenever you were alive. And you can tell any of the hair underneath that was not grown out naturally because it didn't have the vitamins, nutrients, everything needed to actually grow the hair. It was what was sitting underneath the skull.
You know, I make jokes about it, but I actually do love whenever you go mortician mode. It's like, you get so passionate about it.
Because I hate people being misinformed. I hate it so much my voice cracks.
Especially when it comes to matters of death.
Yes. It irritates me.
These are the things that let you know that Kayla really wants to be a mortician.
Yeah.
I meant what I said. I'll still help you pay for mortician school if you ever want to go.
Maybe later on after I get actual money from the medical coding.
Yeah. I have an understanding of anatomy by that point.
Yeah, we're actually supposed to be learning anatomy this week.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Sorry. So they found this hair from Kaylee that had the death band on it to prove that it
definitely was from after her death.
It was from after her death, and it was sitting in the trunk after she had already well been dead. So her body was in there at one point.
For a long ass time.
Right.
Or got put in there for a good long while after her death.
Yes. Another thing they found was through a brand new chemical composition testing method, they found that there was a shitload of chloroform in the trunk of the car as well. Chloroform and cleaning solutions.
And then through another method called looking at someone's browser history, what did they find, Kayla?
They found searches on neck breaking and how to make chloroform. Okay. Okay.
The music is so fucking good.
It is very good.
Woodstock, everybody's having fun. Let's burn the Wicker Man.
So I assume having made peace with the fact at that point that their grandchild was dead, Cindy, mainly Cindy, and partially George, were like, okay, we need to stay on Casey's side at this point, and we need to help her however we can. One thing Cindy did. God damn.
Oh gosh, Kayla's got an angry look on her face.
Because it's so fucking stupid. So, on Internet Explorer, there was a search specifically for the term chloroform. Whenever Cindy Anthony was called up to the stand, she said, I had made the search.
What?
Cindy said, I made the search.
Like, why?
Oh, she has a hell of an explanation.
Oh my god, I cannot wait to hear this.
So, Cindy was concerned because their dogs would sometimes eat bamboo that was growing on the property. And she was concerned it was going to make them sick. So Cindy said she was going to run a search on chlorophyll, but the Google autofill-in filled it into chloroform, and she clicked on that.
This stream brought to you by NordVPN. Are you tired of police officers looking at your browser history? Fucking use incognito mode, you dumb motherfucker!
Yeah. Yeah, so Cindy claimed she looked this up on Internet Explorer, even though the prosecution was able to prove that not only was Cindy Anthony signed in at her nursing job at the same time the search was going on, that not only was she signed in multiple times at her job location where she had supposedly logged into computers to do her job, but Cindy stood adamant like, no, I made that search. Someone must have used my information at work to sign in under me.
Yeah, it would have been better if she just said she was really into true crime or she was writing a story.
That's my excuse.
By the way, I want to point out, I just went to Google just now. Kayla watched me do it. Kayla actually sat here and watched me do it. I typed in CHLORO. What is my search? What does the autocomplete look like? Please read this list of the autocompletes from Google.
Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll drops. Chloroform.
2 whole things before chloroform. Fuck you, Cindy Anthony. You're a fucking goddamn lying bitch.
Also, the search for the word chloroform was conducted 84 times.
Ugh.
84 times. 84 times.
84 times.
84 times.
How many times?
84. Okay. So it was later discovered that there was a flaw in software that misread the forensic data, and that the word chloroform had been searched only one time, and the website in question offered information on the use of chloroform in the 19th century. That was only on Internet Explorer.
Oh my god.
And who uses Internet Explorer? Old people.
Mm-hmm.
You know who didn't use Internet Explorer? Casey Anthony.
Because young people use Google. They use Chrome.
No.
Or
this was
anything else.
This was 2008. She was using
Firefox. I love how we both at the same time. Mozzarella Firefox. Mozzarella Firefox.
And you know what internet history was not searched and not submitted into the trial?
The Mozzarella Firefox history?
Where they would have seen how to kill someone, how to suffocate, how to painlessly suffocate, how much of this certain chemical needed to kill a person.
You know, listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. I'm not condoning murder. Let me make that very clear. But if you're gonna kill someone anyway, and you want to find out a way to do it, and you want to get away with it, start making up some rough drafts of some sort of, like, crime novel or some shit like that, so at least you can say you're writing a novel.
That's what I do.
Kayla doesn't actually like writing. She just writes so that she has an excuse for whatever she eventually snaps.
Yeah, Gedwin is my, they're my partner in crime. That irritates me so badly. Because Jose Baez, the defense lawyer for Casey Anthony, he wrote a book later on about this whole thing. And he said, I was waiting for the prosecution to bring up the Firefox searches.
And they never did, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Exactly, they never brought it up. And even what excuse I did have was very flimsy. It wasn't a good one. But they just never brought it up.
Why the fuck did she... Because she didn't want to have a kid.
Yeah, okay, so... Another instance of what happened on Firefox was that Casey had opened up Facebook. Because, you know, it's the time of the Facebook. The openings, the heydays.
Mm-hmm.
And she, I think it was over 80 pages that she opened on Facebook of just looking at her friends, looking at their statuses, looking at their photos. All of her friends who did not have children. This is my personal theory, is she saw all of those photos and what her kids, what those people were able to do without having a child weighing them down. And she had decided at that point she was going to be a childless person again so she could go ahead and have her fun that she wanted. That's what I think happened. Because it was proven that she had searched on Facebook for an hour or two before looking up chloroform and all those killing methods.
Jesus. I'm not saying this as sympathy for her, but because ultimately you could have just defied your fucking mommy and just put the damn kid up for adoption. You could have just said, "Fuck you, mom. I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
I would have preferred that she had done that. As much as people are like, "Oh, well, you abandoned your child," I think ultimately Kaylee would have preferred being abandoned over dying.
Yep.
But we'll never know because she got killed. So she's not gonna be around to talk about that.
Yep.
I mean, even with safe sex, you can have accidents, and I readily acknowledge that. This is why I feel that abortion should be easily accessible. It's why I feel that the adoption system needs to be overhauled so that it's safer for kids. And I feel like there needs to be programs in place in more locations so that if a parent is in a situation where they have a child that they have no means to care for, whether that child be the product of rape or an accident or whatever took place in order to create that child, there should be more programs in place where that mother can hand over that kid and the kid be taken care of without the mother having to worry about legal ramifications or shit like that. This is why I feel that it's why I feel we need a more robust adoption program.
Yeah.
And why we need ready access to birth control and abortion.
Yep.
Sorry, I jumped on the soapbox there, but this is how I feel about this.
You're fine. I mean, it fit in perfectly with what we're talking about.
I have very strong feelings about this kind of thing.
Me too.
And I don't even like kids.
Me and James are like, we're not gonna plan on kids. We're probably not gonna have them. And I'm just like, can we be pet parents? And he said, oh fuck yes. So, God only knows what's gonna happen with that, but who cares? So, the prosecution's whole case was Casey Anthony is a liar and we're gonna prove it.
Right?
The defense, Jose Baez. His defense was,
I will literally come up with any other answer than the answer
his defense
that
was
she killed. Yeah.
not only did Casey know exactly where Kaylee was never missing, and she had been dead long before.
Yeah. Yeah, Jose Baez was like, all I gotta do is just put some doubt in your head, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
That's all that the defense has to do.
Mm-hmm. And I think defense attorneys are very important to our justice system because everyone is entitled to the best defense possible, even people like Casey Anthony, and I can't allow myself to compromise that belief just because of one person that I don't like. But I will readily admit, Jose Baez is really good at his job.
He is very good at his
job. He's very good.
And it was his first major case that he took on.
I'll admit, he's fucking good.
He is fucking good.
I wonder how he feels about that case. Genuinely. Not just what he tells the press. I wonder what he really feels about.
I mean, he wrote a book on the case.
Yeah, but, he's gotta, lie about some things,
Yeah, probably.
Or at least omit some things, omit some truths. So I wonder how he genuinely feels about all of that.
I know that he got paid in sex.
Yeah.
Casey Anthony couldn't afford to pay him with money, so she gave him blowjobs and had sex with him, and that's how she funded her defense.
This Jose Baez knew this was gonna make him a household name no matter what.
Yep.
He's like, I'm being gift wrapped this super easy case to get somebody off. I'm being
all you have
gift-wrapped
to do
is
provide reasonable doubt.
Yeah. I'm being gift wrapped all of this reasonable doubt, so this will be worth it in the long run.
Yep. So Jose Baez's whole case was that Kaylee had drowned in the pool at the Anthony residence whenever Casey was not watching over her at one point. And that her father, George, had had gotten Kaylee's body, wrapped it up in a garbage can, or a garbage bag with duct tape, like he used to do with the family pets whenever they died, and then dropped her in the back lot where Roy Kronk later found her body.
Mm-hmm.
That was what Jose Baez said. And he said that Casey went along with it and acted like everything was natural because George had sexually abused her whenever she was younger.
Which, that
Was
tells you the
never
level...
brought up ever again after opening statements.
Yeah, which that'll tell you the level of doormat that George Anthony really was. I don't give a fuck who you are. You falsely accuse me of sexually assaulting you, I'm gonna be like, oh, you better come at me with some fucking proof of that, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck who you are.
He did deny it whenever he was one of the first people brought up on the stand because the prosecution was immediately like, well, fuck, we gotta bring him up so he can, like, deny all of this. And he did deny everything about it. But again, Jose Baez never brought it up ever again. Instead, whenever he got his turn to question George Anthony, he questioned him about his suicide attempt that he made after Kaylee's body had been found.
Which, as much as I dislike George Anthony, it was incredibly understandable. And not something that you should shame a person for.
Yep. Another thing he questioned him about was an alleged affair he probably had with one of the search and rescue people.
Now that one I will call him a piece of shit over.
Yeah.
That one I will judge you for.
Yeah. And then Cindy got brought up on the stand.
Oh god.
So there were a lot of...
And everyone took a collective inhale.
There were a lot of things that Cindy was questioned about. One of those things included was her description of what she said on the 911 call where she said it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Yeah, it smells like a dead body in this damn car. Yeah.
What she said on the stand was it was a figure of speech.
I'm sorry, what?
She said I was being hyperbolic so that I could get the police's attention and get them to come down here quicker.
Like, oh, so you lied to the cops is what you're saying.
Yeah, she was saying that saying it smelled like someone had died was just a figure of speech she was using to get urgency from the police. I'm not joking, that was her statement on the stand.
Oh, I know.
Was, it didn't actually smell like a dead body, I just said so the police would show up.
I just like to lie.
I mean, where do you think her daughter gets it from?
Believe me, I'm not lying about that. It literally pulled a, oh, Chris, everything I say is a lie, except that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that.
Yeah, this bitch actually said it is a figure of speech.
Jesus Christ.
And again, the whole thing that I said before with the searches, and she's like, oh no.
Oh, did she have an affair too?
No.
Okay.
The internet searches.
Oh. I thought you were saying the search and rescues, which I was like,
No.
what, did she fuck one of them too?
I mean, probably.
God. Probably this whole family is shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, she said, no, even though there's all this evidence showing that I was at work, I most definitely was not at work. I was making this internet search history at the house. And it totally wasn't Casey. I don't know why she didn't get pitched for falsifying a police report. I don't know.
Because Florida. The cops are already fucking everything up anyway. Might as well just really fuck everything up.
Yeah. So a whole bunch of people were brought in to act as witnesses, and you know, the expert witnesses to get paid way more than anybody I've ever dreamed.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna find something to be an expert in just so I can be an expert witness at court, because holy fuck, those motherfuckers make bank!
I would love to be an expert witness in medical administration after I get my coding job.
Yeah. Okay, well, when you do that and you make a bunch of money, please don't forget about me, okay?
Who are you?
Oh, fuck you.
So they brought up a whole bunch of witnesses to talk about... They couldn't talk about all the evidence that they found with the body.
Mm-hmm.
They could talk about Kaylee's body a bit.
Trying to get to 1,000 cranes, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So everyone's lying.
Everyone's lying.
Except this time, believe our lies. We were lying before, but this time we're telling the truth. We swearsies.
Werner Spitz did not lie whenever he was on the stand.
Oh, right. Well,
I love Werner Spitz. He's the best. He's a very famous, sorry. Let me make sure I get his credentials correct.
yeah.
He's a very famous forensic pathologist who has worked on numerous cases. He worked on John Benet Ramsey. He worked on the O.J. Simpson body case. He actually... He's on the right side of history in most things. He worked on Diane Schuler, What's Wrong with Aunt Diane. If there's a case involving a dead body, Werner Spitz was probably there and examined it. And this guy...
I know you're trying to like talk about how he's really good at his job, and I do respect that he's very, very skilled at what he does. But I can't help but notice that a lot of the cases that you mentioned were all cases where the defendant was found innocent or found not guilty.
Okay, but John Benet, he...
Sorry.
Okay, so let me get into it. Okay, so with John Benet, he basically... Because this whole thing with the forensic pathologist is he just looks over the bodies, determines the death, and he is mainly brought into cases where there's accusations that something went wrong with the autopsy.
Oh, okay.
That's what he's mainly there
Okay.
for.
That makes a lot more
Like
sense.
with the O.J. Simpson case and everything, he's like, no, Ron Goldman and Nicole Simpson, they definitely died from this.
Oh, okay. So he basically comes in and tells folks, no, you're wrong, it was this.
That is literally his whole thing that he does, and I
Nice.
love him for it.
Of course you love someone who comes in to just tell people that they're wrong all the time. That'd be like your dream job. Literally all you gotta do is just tell everybody that they're wrong.
I mean, with the Kaylee Anthony thing, Jose Baez was like... Werner Spitz was hired for the defense. I know, I say he's on the right side of history in most things. He kind of is.
But...
He argued that the autopsy was not done properly because Kaylee's skull was not open during the examination. Again, because of the tape that was found on the jawbone. So he's like, you need to examine every single part of the body whenever you do an autopsy. You did not do that. So, even though it's kind of shitty here, his whole thing is to point out that the autopsy was done incorrectly, and therefore everything found in the autopsy should be dismissed, was Jose Baez's case.
Oh, okay.
Like, even the death band, the chloroform, all that information there.
Yeah, the thing that caused Casey Anthony to go free wasn't necessarily how good at lying she was, it was just how shit the cops were. I wish somebody had lost their fucking job over this.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit that happened.
Yeah.
A lot of shit.
I love how just exhausted you sound by all of it.
Well, I might be making a drive later this evening, and I'm just like, I'm getting myself so worked up over this. So they eventually closed arguments, and both the defense and prosecution rested, with the prosecution arguing, of course Casey fucking did it. Look at all of this evidence. And Jose Baez being like, but
What evidence? Yeah.
Yeah, Jose Baez basically being like, what evidence? A lot of it needs to be thrown out because there were these very minor indications that something went wrong, therefore nothing can be trusted from it. Which in some cases, I hate it, but that is kind of right. That things are messed up that badly in certain DNA and evidence collection. Look at the O.J. Simpson case.
I think the biggest frustration about this is I know that, like, because it's like, you're right, but at the same time, this amount of leeway would not have been afforded to a non-white defendant.
It's that, and also I personally think it's a thing of, like, you're not wrong that everything should be looked at whenever there is something that has gone incorrectly with evidence. But this is not the time nor the place, George. Jose, sorry.
Also, you too, George. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he already shuts the fuck up. 973.
I wanted 1,000, but...
You're fine.
Also, I like this Sadeko and the 1,000 Paper Cranes reference. This is a reference to... Okay, so I read this when I was in school. This is a reference to Sadeko and the 1,000 Paper Cranes. Sadeko was a... it's a story about a girl who ran track and she developed leukemia. She's in Japan and she lived near where the bombs dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And she got sick with leukemia, and so the idea was that if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, the gods will grant you one wish. So she, throughout her chemotherapy and her treatment, she folded hundreds and hundreds of paper cranes. She didn't make it to 1,000, but you know, the idea was that, you know, she had something to strive for, and she still died. She died, and her classmates actually folded the rest of the paper cranes for her. And I think they made like a little shrine to her, something like that.
It's very sad, but cute.
Yeah. So yeah, this references the story of Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes.
You're not wrong, but shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but shut the fuck up.
One thing I love about closing arguments with this case is that Jose Baez, his closing argument was, I understand if you don't like my client. I don't like her most days.
Wow.
And she is a liar.
Yeah, y'all, my client's a bitch, but you know.
And she is a liar. And a bitch.
Wow, he really said that?
Not in those... Not the bitch part.
Okay, because
he did say, yeah, she's a liar, and I don't like her most days. However, the science does not lie, and this science is faulty. And on one hand, I'm just like,
oh, he went and got the second place trophy after throwing it off the bridge. He still punched his child, though.
Sucker punched him.
Yeah.
When he wasn't looking. You don't punch someone who's not looking. That's a bitch move.
I feel like I'm flying through this game a lot faster than I expected to. Okay, so, y'all, my client's a bitch and all, but
the science is flawed here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no definitive, absolute evidence that I have argued that she did it. That she totes McScroats did it.
Yeah, which, you know, that's kind of what the prosecution is supposed to prove. That she definitely totally...
Beyond a reasonable doubt, especially whenever we're dealing with a death penalty case.
Yeah.
So, July 5th, 2011.
Fun fact, I was in London during this case.
I remember. Because I had to deal with Grandma after it happened. I could hear Grandma yelling across the house how pissed off she was.
Well, anyway.
So Casey Anthony was found not guilty on counts 1 through 3 regarding first-degree murder, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and aggravated child abuse. So she was found not guilty on those. Don't know how. But they did find her guilty on counts 4 through 7 for providing false information to law enforcement, such as being employed at Universal Studios, saying she left Kaylee at the babysitter's house, saying that 2 employees were informed of Kaylee's disappearance, and that she had called Kaylee on July 15th whenever she was already long dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, sentencing. So the defense asked for concurrent sentences, which means you can get sentenced for like 4 years for this, 3 years for this, 6 years for this. And concurrent sentencing means that when you serve 1 year in jail, that's 1 year for the 3 years, 1 year for the 4 years, 1 year for the 6 years. It counts for all of them.
So basically, if your longest sentence is 6 years, the idea is that you'll spend 6 years in jail.
Yeah.
Or prison.
Yeah.
She was basically just found guilty of lying to the police tax. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Because that one they could actually prove she did.
Yeah. So the judge instead said, these are 4 distinct separate lies. It's not going to be concurrent. It's going to be consecutive, meaning one sentence at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So Casey was sentenced to 1 year in the county jail and $1,000 in fines for all 4 counts. Because it was the maximum penalty prescribed by the law. Casey had already served 1,043 days in jail, waiting for the trial.
So she'd already spent her time, basically.
And she also had time served for good behavior. So she was released 10 days after her sentencing arguments.
Rolled right on the fuck out of there.
Strolled right the fuck on out. It just...
I mean, we say she strolled right the fuck on out. She's never gonna live a normal life.
Oh, no,
Let's make that extremely clear. Unless she drops money on some serious fucking plastic surgery and identification changes and, like, moves to fucking Timbuktu, she's not living a normal life, ever.
So...
I don't say that with approval, I say that with just the reality of her situation.
Yeah. So Casey was, it was ruled by Florida statute that she was to pay $217,000 to the state of Florida for wasting the police's time at that point. And
Cops gonna get paid, motherfuckers. Although I feel like they shouldn't have gotten paid because they really fucked all of this up. Can I just be real and say, listen, if you fuck up to this degree, it should be enough to where it's like, you know what? No, you're not. No, you're not getting paid for this. Fuck you.
yeah, and also in July 2013, 2 years after her sentencing and everything, and it was told what she was guilty for, a Florida appeals court reduced her conviction from 4 to 2 counts.
Mm-hmm.
So, great.
Yay. The real disaster... Oh, is there anything else that you want?
It's mainly just, like, a little bit of what happened afterward. How she's kind of trying to be buddy-buddy with O.J. Simpson. She wanted to do a TV show with O.J. Simpson about how they live their lives now that they have made their way in this world after being falsely accused of heinous crimes.
Holy fucking shit. I did not know about that.
Oh yeah, she wants another kid, by the way. And she works for a private investigator who actually worked on her defense. And she lives with him because Cindy and George kind of kicked her out after that.
Oh no, how terrible.
Cindy says that she still talks to Casey.
Of course she fucking does!
And George has said, no, she is dead to me. I am never speaking to her ever again.
Didn't he have a stroke recently?
Yes.
He's like, let's call it what it really is. That man's on his way out the door.
Oh, yeah. I think he has just fully given up on life at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you know. I do not judge him for the suicide attempt. I 100% judge him for his enabling and his just laying down and allowing things to get to this point.
In this
all
life,
in the interest of having a quote-unquote peaceful life.
In this life, you can either be a matador or a doormat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what about her brother? Is he just like, fucking get away from me, all of you?
Oh yeah, he's like pretty much just completely disowned and moved away.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, 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 nope. And again, Zanny the nanny, who did not exist, but real person Zenaida Gonzalez sued Casey Anthony for defamation for bringing her into this bullshit. Because Zenaida lost her job, was evicted from her house, and got death threats.
Yes, she did, because people really did, for a brief amount of time, people really did think that she had killed that girl.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that suit still in progress, or has there been an outcome on that?
So, in 2011, Casey was deposed via video conference, but she used her Fifth Amendment right to not say anything and only answer factual questions. So Gonzalez's attorneys sought and got permission to get Casey Anthony's address so they could subpoena her to testify. However, Gonzalez had been willing to drop the suit if Anthony were to apologize to her and compensate her for pain and suffering. And in September 2015, a judge ruled in favor of Casey Anthony.
Fuck!
There is nothing
Yes.
in the statement to support Gonzalez's allegations that Anthony intended to portray her as a child kidnapper and potentially a child killer.
Literally said, this is the person who kidnapped my child.
They were basically being like, they didn't... Casey wasn't referencing her specifically.
She was just throwing out a random name.
Yep. That was...
Izzy's like, that name sounded so fake. I was so shocked that a woman by that name actually existed. Imagine
23
the
people
moment.
in the United States actually existed with that name.
Fucking imagine the look on Casey Anthony's face whenever she was like, yes, this person, that's the one, here's her name. And thinking, okay, they'll never find someone with that name. And not only do they find someone with that name, they find someone who lives in Florida within close enough distance to Casey Anthony that she could have reasonably been her nanny. Imagine the fucking shock
Yeah.
in that moment, like, holy fucking shit.
Also, Roy Crunk also filed a defamation lawsuit against Casey Anthony and her defense for
Basically implying that he must have done it.
implying that he had done it, or for implying that he was like a bad person who
Yeah.
messed with the remains and shit.
Yeah.
He lost that appeal.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Casey Anthony's just like blowing her way through the entire. No. I retract that statement. I retract that. That was a very inappropriate statement to make. I apologize, everybody. That's not. That I don't want to condone people making statements like that. Like, oh, she must be blowing her way through the entire justice system. I retract that statement. Please disregard that. That was wrong of me to say. Casey's like, believe me, no one is more shocked about this turn of events than I am.
Honestly, fucking yeah. She gave an interview in March 2017 with the Associated Press. She admitted to lying to the police in that interview. I'm like, wow, I'm surprised you admitted to something. And when asked about the drowning defense, Casey Anthony said, everyone has their own theories. I don't know. As I stand here today, I can't tell you one way or another. The last time I saw my daughter, I believed she was alive and was going to be okay, and that's what was told to me. By who?
Yeah, I know, just like, bitch, this wasn't a question about the meaning of life. It's a question of, did your daughter drown?
He's like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you about any of this. You can have your theories.
Your game theories. I think probably the thing that I feel needs to be most recognized about this whole thing is that, like, the disaster here was how terrible the cops were at this. Because had they actually done their fucking jobs, this woman would have at the very least been in prison for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Had they actually done their fucking jobs.
You want a little, cherry on top of the shit sandwich?
Yeah.
Casey said, still in this same interview, I don't give a shit about what anyone thinks about me. I don't care about that. I never will. I'm okay with myself. I sleep pretty good at night.
I bet she does. She fucking got away with murder.
She did.
I bet she sleeps great. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
She allegedly got away with murder. I'm sure that she's probably, like, just feeling great about all that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly about the ostrich.
Alright. So, what did we learn from this?
Apparently, you can lie your way through life and everything will be fine because it's fucking worked for her.
Yeah, apparently, Jesus, some people just have the most insane level of luck. Some people roll so fucking crazy high on their luck stats. She rolled a goddamn natural 20 in luck, I'm telling you.
Yeah, she didn't roll it in, like, charisma or speaking.
I know, right? She fucking, like, her luck stats are insane that she was able to just get away with that. That is so crazy to me.
Yeah, and they try to tell you, oh, you can't lie your way through life. You can't lie about everything. Apparently, you fucking can.
As long as the cops are shitty enough, yeah, you can lie about anything.
Yeah, with Casey Anthony, right now, the worst things that she deals with is that she has to live in an undisclosed location because of the constant death threats. Oh, boo fucking who. And she actually had to file for bankruptcy.
Oh, no.
That's the worst thing she's dealt with. Meanwhile, the child she had is dead.
Yeah, that's...
Yep.
I think that, like, because, like, on one hand, I want to be like, look, you shouldn't be able to convict a person on so flimsy of evidence. And that is the case. Because, let's be real, the evidence was... They
jumped too quickly.
They did it like you said, they did it way too wrong. And while I do feel you should not be able to convict a person on such a slipshod, badly done investigation, while that should be the case... Part of the reason why that still, like, leaves such a horrible taste in my mouth to talk about that and to agree with that statement is the fact that I know that non-white, non-20-year-old pretty little females have been convicted for way less.
There are people sitting on death row that have been proven innocent.
Yeah, there are people on death row right now over far less evidence than what was used in Casey Anthony's trial.
Yep.
And so, like, you know, whenever people say, well, isn't it better to, you know, let 100 guilty men go free than to let one innocent man be convicted and possibly die? And while I do agree with that statement, the fact of the matter is we're in a situation where we have a system where both happen.
Yeah.
Our justice system looked at that statement and pulled an old El Paso taco and said, why not both?
Yeah, my thing with the death penalty is it needs to be 100% right 100% of the time, so just stick to life in prison.
Yeah, I don't have it in me to be honest, I don't have it. Even for someone like Casey Anthony, I kind of don't have it in me to justify the death penalty. Just because, like, if you watch... So, Penn and Teller did a fantastic episode about the death penalty, and they actually went through all the, like, the steps, exactly what takes place whenever an execution happens, both, like, you know... medically what happens to your body, but also what happens procedure-wise. Mm-hmm. And even though they did it in a way that it was meant to be more lighthearted, I still felt so sick to my stomach. That was the moment, because at that point I was kind of on the fence, like, I don't know, maybe not, I'm not sure. That was the moment I said, no, we shouldn't have a death penalty. That was the moment.
Also, you are completely right, Lunatic Goose. Life in prison is actually a lot cheaper than putting someone on death row. Because you need to have, like, special accommodations and shit for someone on death row. Even though they're going to be living a shorter life, trying is the goal, at least. It costs more to house someone on death row than it does to keep them in prison for the rest of their life.
Yeah, because they undergo, like, very specific security measures, not just to keep them from escaping, but also to keep the other prisoners from just, you know, taking care of it early on.
Also, yeah, the chemicals they use to kill people, it's supposed to be like, oh, we're killing this person, but it's supposed to be a humane method. It is not humane at all.
It's very much not. And
they feel every single thing going on.
Yeah, like, and it's only effective if it's done in exactly the right mixture and the right measurements. And most times it is not done in exactly the right mixture and exactly the right measurements.
Yep. They don't do the electric chair anymore. I don't think that they did. I think Texas was the last one to stop.
Hang on, let's find out.
Stop with old Sparky.
Do any states still use the electric chair for the Okay, see, that auto-completed. That auto-completed right there.
Nope. Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee still have the option of using the electric chair for death penalty cases.
Arkansas and Oklahoma laws provide for its use should lethal injection ever be held to be unconstitutional. So it's not that they still actively use it, it's that it's still reserved as an option for execution.
Yep.
I think there are some states that still do firing squads, I believe. At least there was Ronnie Lee Gardner was executed by firing squad in 2010 by his own request.
Yep.
Because he didn't want to do, because he knew what we knew, that lethal injection was a really awful way to die.
Yeah.
So he was just like, nope. So, even then, when we say other methods, they're very secondary, and, like, it's, you know.
People still see lethal injection as the most humane way, because I don't think they're properly educated on how it works.
Yeah.
And how ineffective it actually is.
Yeah. So, it's just, yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to get super political. I know people have their opinions about the death penalty, and believe me, there are some very, very awful people who did do the things that they were convicted of.
Oh, yeah, very much.
And they are on death row, and a part of me is still like, no, they really do need to be there, because these people have done horrific, terrible things, and we know for a fact that they did these horrific, terrible things. And a part of me does want to feel that way as well. It's just a lot of the practicalities of it are... And, you know, like I said, the reality of how it plays out makes me feel uncomfortable. I guess it's kind of one of those, like, maybe I'm like that person standing in the supermarket, like, buying the meat while also not wanting to know where it comes from. Like, because it makes me uncomfortable, and it's an uncomfortable truth. I don't know. Maybe I'm a snowflake.
Well, that's why I stick to the whole mantra of, if you want to use the death penalty, it has to be 100% right 100% of the time, and right now we just cannot guarantee that.
That's fair. I feel like that's a fair
Stance.
a fair stance to take, yeah. Well, we've been at this for a while, but I've really had fun today, despite the horrific things that we've discussed. I've had a lot of fun today.
I had fun. I had my moment on my soapbox talking about Casey Anthony. That made me happy.
Yeah, you just really wanted to talk about Casey Anthony.
I like talking about true crime.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm running low on the engineering stuff, so there might be more true crime in the future, and I apologize, but hey, we still have the tragedy topics little tab open in case anyone wants to recommend some things.
Yes, please, by all means, do post in the tragedy topics in Discord. I'm going to drop a link to the Discord. If you're not already in that Discord, why not? Please, come and join us.
Have fun.
It's a fun place.
We post pet pics.
Yeah. And if you want to follow Kayla on Twitter, please follow her on Twitter, because, you know, she's indisputably the funnier of the two of us.
Well, Bird only says that because I mainly retweet things Bird says.
Yeah. And also you can follow me both on Twitter and check out my YouTube archives. Today's episode of DisasterCast and Katamari Damacy will be going up later today, so will yesterday's episode of Beyond Good and Evil. Beyond Good and Evil will continue tomorrow. It'll be at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, which is different from normal because, like I said, I've got 2 doctor's appointments I gotta go to. Have y'all talked about the Centralia fire? I don't think we talked about that.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, there we go. We got one for...
Drop it in the tragedy topics.
Yeah, drop that in the tragedy topics. We'll happily take a look. And
Oh, I know what the fire is that they're talking about, though. It inspired Silent Hill.
Ooh, well then yes, I'm definitely down for that as a person who absolutely adores Silent Hill.
There you go.
So, and actually, controversial take, I actually do like the Silent Hill movie, the first one. I
do too.
Like, and I'm not saying that in an ironic way. I actually do genuinely like Silent Hill.
I do believe Centralia is still burning, yes. At the very least, it's still condemned, and no one can live there.
Yeah, at the very least, yeah. Ain't nobody live there.
It's the Chernobyl of, I think, West Virginia.
Alright, so, I reckon that about wraps us up for today.
What is our raid message?
Yeah, what is the raid message for today?
Topple the top mom!
Topple the top mom. Topple the top mom. Yeah, that's the raid message for today. I'm gonna send y'all off to Zex, because Zex is streaming. And he's doing some chill out raiding in Guild Wars 2, so be a nice kind of relaxing thing to watch. Also because raids are, as much as I couldn't really get into MMOs, raids are interesting to watch because there is a lot of especially the high level ones require so much choreography and communication, and I kind of dig that. The raid messages toppled the top, Mom, everybody. Hop into that raid and say hi to Zex.
Yeah.
Zex is really cool. And sometimes he does cooking streams, and they're really cool to watch, so please go and watch him.
Wish me luck while I probably drive 3.5 hours today.
Yeah. Text me when you get there to let me know you're not dead.
Don't tell me what to do.
I will tell you what to do. Alright, everybody. Well, thank you so much for coming out. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.